A bunch of toads. On this day, Lu Ming came to the vicinity of a huge mountain peak. After arriving, Xiao became excited. Its big mouth was gnawing and its eyes were shining as it stared at a cave at the foot of the mountain. Xiao, could there be a treasure in this cave? Lu Ming's heart stirred as he asked. That's right. I can feel that there's a type of metal in this cave. It's a very precious metal. If I eat it, it'll definitely help me evolve and break through to the heavenly god realm. Xiao responded with its spiritual will. He can break through to the heavenly god realm? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. With Xiao's strength, if it could break through to the celestial deity realm, its combat strength would definitely be extremely terrifying and would be a great help to him. If he ran into the Tianhong Saint Sun and the sacred Sun of Reflection's subordinates, he wouldn't have to be afraid anymore. Kid, I can feel that there are many powerful demons living in this cave. The Bone Devil's voice sounded. Senior Bone Demon, can you sense the strength of the demon in this cave? Lu Ming asked. The strongest one is only at the first level heavenly deity realm. There's only one. The rest are all below the heavenly deity realm. Bone said. There's only one first level heavenly god realm demon. We'll go all out. Lu Ming revealed a determined look. Xiao, get ready for battle. Lu Ming continued to play the ball. Then he started to activate the battle formula. After more than 20 years of cultivation, Lu Ming's understanding of the battle character formula had deepened. The success rate of triggering the fourfold combat strength had also increased significantly. He would succeed once out of more than 10 times. After more than 10 times of triggering, Lu Ming successfully triggered the quadruple combat strength and raised his status to the maximum. He then carefully approached the cave. Whoosh! When Lu Ming was near the cave, a red light suddenly shot out from the cave and pierced between Lu Ming's eyebrows. Before it reached him, a foul smell had already hit his face. A tongue. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He could see clearly that the red light was actually an animal's tongue. Buzz. Lu Ming shook the long spear and it struck the tongue hard. However, when the long spear hit the tongue, there was no force at all. The tongue was soft and easily deflected the force of the long spear. It turned and stabbed toward Lu Ming again. Small tricks. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. He put away the spear and covered his palm with divine power. He grabbed the scarlet tongue and then burst out with the ultimate cold divine power, pouring it into the tongue. Instantly the tongue was frozen into a popsicle. Lu Ming swung his arm and the popsicle broke into dozens of pieces. Boosh! Immediately, a loud cry came from the cave, shaking the ground. Then a huge creature the size of a small mountain rushed out of the cave. It really is a toad. Lu Ming muttered. The huge creature that charged out was a huge toad. Its entire body was pitch black and it was also filled with thick demonic qi. It glared at Lu Ming with a venomous look. This toad had a cultivation of about 9th stage true god. Boosh. Following that, there were cries continuously coming out from the cave, and black shadows jumped out one after another. They were all toads and in a few moments more than a dozen of them jumped out. They were all at the 8th or 9th stage of true god. Kill. Lu Ming charged forward. This time he did not take out a long spear. Instead he took out a combat sword. Moon slaying. Lu Ming used the moon slash at a toad. Boosh. The toad cried out and opened its mouth. Rays of pitch black light burst out like blades, slashing at Lu Ming. Clang, clang. The combat sword kept clashing with the light, causing a violent explosion. What powerful strength. Lu Ming's gaze was a little solemn. This stage 9 real god toad was astonishingly powerful. Its fighting power was not any weaker than Zhou Xian, who was ranked 6th on the real god ranking list. However, Lu Ming's current abilities had also improved since his battle with Zhou Xian. Moon slaying. Lu Ming pushed the 3 apocalyptic strikes to the extreme. The crescent-shaped sword radiance kept slashing out. At the same time, Lu Ming cast the ice chains. 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around the toad. Lu Ming slashed the toad in half with his sword. On the other side, Xiao was showing off its might. When it was at the 8th stage true god realm, its abilities were already very shocking and could crush Lu Ming. Now that it had broken through to the 9th stage true god realm, its abilities were even stronger. Its 2 arms turned into 2 sabers and kept slashing. Every time he slashed out, a toad would be killed. Lu Ming had only killed 1, but Xiao had already killed 6. By the time Lu Ming killed the second toad, Xiao had already killed all the other toads. Amazing! Lu Ming smiled and looked at Xiao. He could not help but look forward to how strong Xiao's combat power would be after it broke through to the heavenly god level. With a flash, Lu Ming and Xiao rushed into the cave. The cave was huge and there were many different passages. This way, Xiao took the lead and flew toward a passage followed by Lu Ming. Along the way, toads would jump out from time to time, but they were all killed by Xiao's blade. Very soon, Lu Ming and the group had traveled a few hundred miles and bypassed many winding passages. Finally, they came to a huge underground cave. This underground cave was fiery red because the walls were embedded with pieces of fiery red gemstones that emitted red light. At the very top of the cave, there was a piece of crimson metal the size of a human head. It was embedded in the wall and emitted powerful energy fluctuations. "It's that piece of metal, it's that piece of metal," Xiao's voice rang in Lu Ming's mind. It then opened its mouth wide and pounced on the piece of metal. Whoosh! Right at this moment, a few loud shouts rang out, causing the underground cave to shake continuously. A black shadow pounced towards Xiao at an extremely fast speed. "Xiao, be careful," Lu Ming reminded loudly. At the same time, he dashed toward the black shadow. Whoosh! A scarlet tongue lashed out at Xiao like a soft whip. Xiao was caught off guard and was directly whipped. Bang! Xiao was sent flying like a cannonball. It crashed into the wall and created a huge pit. Moon slaying. Lu Ming had already arrived. He cast moon slashing and slashed at the scarlet tongue. However, the tongue flicked and a terrifying force exploded. Lu Ming's body trembled and he could not help but fly backward. What powerful strength! Lu Ming's gaze was solemn. In front of them, a huge toad appeared. This toad was 2 to 3 times bigger than the ones they had encountered before. Its body was filled with dense demonic qi, and its aura was shocking. Heavenly God realm. This toad was a heavenly god. It should be the first-level heavenly god that Bone Demon sensed. Finishing off the Toad King bang. Shattered rocks flew everywhere and Xiao flew back to Lu Ming's side. He shook its body and was fine. Whoosh! The heavenly god-level toad's eyes were filled with fierceness as it glared at Lu Ming and Xiao. Then, with a spring of its legs, its huge body pounced toward Lu Ming and Xiao at an astonishing speed. It opened its mouth and its scarlet tongue was like a sharp sword light, piercing toward Lu Ming. At the same time, beams of black light burst out and rushed toward Xiao. Ice chains. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless in the face of the heavenly god-level toad. 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around the toad. At the same time, he activated the 9 layers of crimson gold armor to protect his body and displayed the 9 heavenly Kun Ping technique. In a flash, he charged toward the toad and a crescent-shaped sword light slashed toward the toad. However, Lu Ming had still underestimated this toad. The toad's tongue was like an unparalleled sword. With a swing, it struck the ice chains. The ice chains trembled violently and then broke apart one by one. Then it continued to attack Lu Ming with its tongue. Bang! Lu Ming's combat sword struck the toad's tongue. It was as if he had struck leather. It did not break through the toad's defense. A powerful force burst forth from the tongue, traveling along the combat sword and hitting Lu Ming. Lu Ming's body was sent flying and he crashed into the wall at the side. Lu Ming felt the blood in his body churning and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. What powerful strength! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. The strength of this toad was even more powerful than that of Lu Feiyun. They were both first-level celestial deities, but Lu Feiyun's strength was definitely not a match for this toad. Boom! Boom! Xiao brandished its 2 battle sabers and collided with the black light emitted by the toad. For a moment, it managed to withstand the attack. Again. Lu Ming moved and charged at the toad again. From the quantity formula, a steady stream of divine power gushed into Lu Ming's body, keeping his divine power full. The 9 ice chains formed once again. At the same time, a dragon's roar was heard. A huge 9-clawed divine dragon appeared above Lu Ming's head. Lu Ming used the divine dragon materialization technique for the first time against his enemy. Roar! The 9-clawed divine dragon pounced toward the toad. The 9 dragon claws stepped out one after another and turned toward the toad. Bang! Bang! The toad's tongue kept clashing with the dragon's claws. The 9-clawed divine dragon's huge body trembled, but it did not shatter. I blocked it. Lu Ming was elated. The power of the divine dragon materialization art was indeed shocking. especially the nine-clawed divine dragon phenomenon that Lu Ming had condensed. It was even more powerful and had become his strongest killing move. Qiuqiu used lightning. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Qiuqiu. He had used all his means to kill the toad. Zizi. On Qiuqiu's body, lightning pervaded and then converged into a thick bolt of lightning that shot towards the toad. It pierced through the light that was emitted by the other party in an instant and bombarded the toad. The toad was struck by the lightning and its body immediately stiffened. The fragrance of roasted meat also spread out. After Qiuqiu's cultivation broke through to the 9th stage True God realm, the power of that lightning was even stronger. How could Lu Ming miss such an opportunity? He immediately controlled the 9 ice chains and wrapped them around the toad. A terrifying chill surged into the toad's body, trying to freeze it. Roar. The 9-clawed divine dragon roared as it took a few steps forward with its claws aimed at the toad. At the same time, Lu Ming swung his sword at the toad. Boosh. At the critical moment, the toad mustered all its remaining strength. A black demonic chi shot out in all directions like a shockwave. In an instant, the ice chains bounced off and it hit Lu Ming and the 9-clawed divine dragon. The 9-clawed divine dragon phenomenon shook violently, and its body emitted a blinding light. Then it began to explode inch by inch. Lu Ming was sent flying and his 9-layer crimson gold armor was covered in cracks. However, this was the toad's desperate move. After using it, his aura became much weaker and the demonic chi protecting his body became much thinner. Qiuqiu seized the opportunity and another bolt of lightning struck down. This time the toad was sent flying by the lightning. Its round body rolled on the ground and its body was charred black. Qiuqiu seized the opportunity and charged forward. With a slash of its blade, half of the toad's body was chopped off with a pft sound, and blood flowed all over the ground. Even so, the toad was still alive and was struggling to escape. "Don't even think about escaping. Go!" Lu Ming shouted. The 9 ice chains formed again and were thousands of meters long, binding the toad. The toad was already heavily injured. This time it could no longer jump out of the ice chains. Its body was covered in a layer of ice. Qiuqiu charged forward and slashed down twice, killing the toad completely. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief. He had finally killed the toad. The heavenly god toad was even stronger than Lu Feiyun. It was indeed hard to kill. Lu Ming and Qiuqiu cooperated with each other and used all their means. They had a good grasp of the timing to kill the toad. If the timing was not right, they would not be able to kill the toad even if they joined forces. "My cultivation is still too low," Lu Ming sighed. His various divine skills and secret skills were very powerful, but his cultivation was low, so he could not exert too much power. In fact, the main reason was that Lu Ming's opponents were too powerful. If he was facing someone of the same level or a few levels higher than him, Lu Ming could easily kill them in seconds. Lu Ming, who was only at the 3rd stage of True God realm, was too far away from a heavenly god powerhouse. If it were any other 3rd stage True God against a heavenly god, he would most likely be slapped to death. After the toad was killed, the cave became quiet. This cave seemed to be the cave of the Toad King, and the other toads didn't dare to enter. Qiuqiu's eyes were burning as it stared at the piece of metal. It immediately rushed up and opened its mouth to take a big bite. Giggle giggle. Sparks flew in all directions. That piece of metal was bitten off piece by Qiuqiu and it swallowed it. Not long after, the entire piece of metal had been completely eaten by Qiuqiu. "I'm going to evolve." Qiuqiu turned into a metal ball and fell to the ground, unmoving. Lu Ming sat cross-legged not far away from Qiuqiu and channeled his energy to heal his injuries. In the battle just now, he had been seriously injured. After his injuries had healed, Lu Ming began to cultivate in the cave. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed and Qiuqiu was still in the process of evolving. It was obvious that the piece of metal was not that easy to refine. "Lu Ming, I've finally refined the ancient god flower's energy. Do you need it now? If you do, I'll transfer it to you immediately." The voice of the quantity formula sounded. "All right, pass it to me." Lu Ming's eyes lit up. After decades of polishing and cultivating, Lu Ming's foundation had long been extremely stable. Now was the perfect time to break through. Chapter 2816 Great Improvement. Pay attention. The measure formula reminded him. Then, it shone brightly and waves of extremely pure energy surged into Lu Ming's body from the measure formula. Lu Ming circulated the universe myriad Tao mantra at full force to refine the waves of energy. The energy refined by the quantity formula was too pure. He only needed to refine it casually and it would be completely transformed into Lu Ming's divine power. The 6 divine flames in his dantian continued to grow. Originally, the 6th divine fire, a divine fire condensed by the mysterious divine power, was not particularly strong and had not reached the level of the other divine fires. But now this divine fire was also growing rapidly and catching up with the other divine fires at an amazing speed. When the mysterious divine fire caught up with the other divine fires, a loud boom came from Lu Ming's body. The 6 divine fires burned fiercely and doubled in size in an instant. The divine power in Lu Ming's body also increased rapidly. 4th stage True God Realm. Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through to the 4th stage True God Realm, but it did not stop. His cultivation was still increasing rapidly. Back then, the descendants of the ancient gods had planted too many ancient god flowers and absorbed the flesh and blood of many experts. The energy contained in them was extremely rich. Back then, most of the energy had been used to condense the ancient god's heart. However, the remaining energy in the quantity formula was still extremely strong. Lu Ming's cultivation was rapidly charging towards the peak of the 4th stage of True God Realm. Not long after, he reached the peak of the 4th stage of True God Realm and started to charge towards the 5th stage of True God Realm. Boom! Not long after, there was another roar in Lu Ming's body. He had broken through to the 5th stage of True God. It was only when he broke through to the 5th stage True God Realm that the energy that surged out from the quantity formula was completely refined by Lu Ming. Cool, this is too cool. Feeling the surging divine power in his body, Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he was filled with confidence. Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through 2 levels in a row, and his abilities had skyrocketed. One must know that secret skills would improve with the breakthrough of cultivation. Moreover, the mysterious divine power had also reached the level of other divine powers. The strength of Lu Ming's divine power had reached an astonishing level, far beyond that of martial cultivators of the same level. With my current strength I can kill that Toad King even if I'm alone, Lu Ming muttered. He was indeed confident. With his current strength he was completely unafraid of ordinary first-level heavenly gods. He could completely kill them. Buzz. At the same time, a powerful energy fluctuation was also transmitted from Xiaoqiu's side. Xiaoqiu was about to begin its evolution and break through to the heavenly god realm. Xiaoqiu's body was filled with a blinding radiance. Tiny bolts of lightning covered its entire body like tiny snakes that slithered around. Boom! The aura on Xiaoqiu's body suddenly skyrocketed, as if it had broken through a limit and pierced through the clouds. A powerful pressure spread out. Heavenly God Realm. This was the pressure of a heavenly god. Xiaoqiu had successfully broken through to the heavenly god level. It took a long time before the aura on Xiaoqiu's body finally stabilized and was completely concealed. Buzz! Xiaoqiu rushed in front of Lu Ming and spun around. It shouted, "Lu Ming, do you want to have a competition?" "No." Lu Ming shook his head firmly. Xiaoqiu had reached the heavenly god level and its combat strength must have increased tremendously. He had suffered a loss when he fought Xiaoqiu previously. Only a fool would suffer a second loss. "Ha, you don't dare to compete with me, do you?" Xiaoqiu was very pleased with itself. It turned its round body around Lu Ming and after a long while, it turned into a bangle and put it on Lu Ming's hand. Lu Ming then followed the original path and walked outside. Oosh. After walking for a while, a toad appeared in front of Lu Ming and stared at him fiercely. Lu Ming could tell that this toad had the cultivation of the 9th tier True God Realm. "I'll use you to test my strength." Lu Ming muttered and activated the double combat power of the battle character formula. He struck out with his palm. At the same time the toad also launched an attack. However, given Lu Ming's current strength, his palm force whistled like the sea and destroyed the toad's attack like a piece of rotten wood. Then it bombarded the toad's body. In an instant, Lu Ming activated the divine force of absolute frost. A layer of ice crystals immediately appeared on the toad's body, completely sealing it in ice. Then Lu Ming's palm force shook and the toad's body shattered into pieces like a piece of ice. With one palm, a powerful True God 9th stage toad was killed by Lu Ming in seconds. With Lu Ming's current abilities, he could be said to be invincible among True God level powerhouses. unless he encountered a peerless genius who also controlled divine-grade divine power and had terrifying secret skills. A true god would definitely be killed in seconds when facing Lu Ming. Lu Ming was very satisfied with his own strength. He moved and rushed outside. Along the way they encountered toads from time to time, but they were all killed by Lu Ming in seconds. Not long after, Lu Ming came out of the toad's nest. However, Lu Ming had no intention of returning to the base to rest. He was full of divine power and was not injured. Moreover, his abilities had improved greatly. There was no need for him to return to the base to rest. It would be best for him to train in the savage mountains and obtain natural treasures. In the next few days, Lu Ming had been training in the desolate mountains and had obtained more natural treasures. However, Lu Ming did not let the quantity formula consume all the divine medicine. He kept some of the divine medicine that was rarely seen in the outside world. These godly medicines were not only valuable outside, but they might also be useful in the future. Lu Ming, someone's approaching you at high speed. It's the people who tried to kill you last time. Suddenly Bone's voice echoed. These people are really persistent. Alright, I'll play with you guys this time. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He didn't leave but stayed and waited. Now his cultivation base had improved greatly and Xianxia had broken through to Heavenly God, so he was very confident. Buzz. Whoosh. In just a few breaths, there was a loud sound of air being torn in the distance. 7 to 8 figures appeared and charged at Lu Ming at an alarming speed. This kid is here as expected. Surround him, don't let him escape. The moment these people saw Lu Ming, their eyes lit up and they sped up. Their figures flashed and they surrounded Lu Ming from all directions. There were a total of 8 people. They were the people the Tianhong Saint Sun and the Transient Light Saint Sun had left behind to pursue Lu Ming. They had not given up and had been wandering around the area for the past few months. Unexpectedly, they had run into Lu Ming. The 8 of them surrounded Lu Ming. Their powerful auras filled the air and sealed off all directions, afraid that Lu Ming would escape again. What are you doing? All of you look so ferocious. Why aren't you kowtowing to me? Lu Ming said casually. Ha ha ha. The 8 of them laughed. One of them laughed and said, Holy Sun? You're on the verge of death and you still want to show off? Lu Ming, today is the day you die. By death? Do you think you can kill me with your pathetic abilities? Lu Ming said in disdain. Chapter 2818 All-Out Slaughter. Lu Ming's disdainful voice was heard. Now he had a rough idea of these people's cultivation. He was completely at ease and did not feel any pressure at all. These 8 people were all at the Heavenly God realm. 4 first-level heavenly deities, 3 second-level heavenly deities, and 1 third-level heavenly deity. Given Lu Ming's abilities, it would be difficult for him to fight against a second-level celestial deity. At most he could only protect himself. However, Lu Ming had Xianxia. When Xianxia was at the true god level, it could definitely fight a weaker heavenly god with its full power. One had to know that there was a huge gap between true gods and heavenly gods. Now that Xianxia had broken through to heavenly god, its combat strength had skyrocketed by who knew how much. Crossing 2 levels and killing a 3rd-level heavenly god was absolutely no problem. Therefore Lu Ming did not think much of these people. You're really arrogant. Then let me see if you have the right to be arrogant. A middle-aged burly man stepped forward. His powerful aura pressed down on Lu Ming like a mountain, but Lu Ming did not move an inch. Kill! The burly man roared. A battle axe appeared in his hand and he swung it at Lu Ming. This burly man had a first-tier celestial god cultivation. Although he looked down on Lu Ming verbally, he did not look down on him at all when he attacked. He used his full strength the moment he attacked. After all, back then Lu Ming and Xianxia had joined forces to defeat Lu Feiyun. Although this burly man was slightly stronger than Lu Feiyun, he was not that much stronger. The others did not make a move. Instead, they guarded the surroundings, afraid that Lu Ming would take the opportunity to escape. Buzz. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands. The long spear vibrated and he thrust it forward. The 3 apocalyptic strikes, sky-breaking. Moreover, the moment he attacked, Lu Ming triggered the tripled combat power of the battle formula. Clang. The spear and the battle axe collided with a loud boom. The ground under their feet cracked and spread in all directions. Then a figure retreated rapidly. It was the middle-aged man. How is that possible? On the side, the other 7 people's hearts were beating wildly. They simply couldn't believe their eyes. Lu Ming actually had the upper hand in the head-on collision with the middle-aged man. They could see very clearly that this time, Lu Ming did not rely on any external help. He was completely relying on his own abilities. However, Lu Ming was only a true god. How could he be so powerful? How is that possible? The middle-aged man couldn't believe it himself and was a little dumbfounded. 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon-cutting. Lu Ming let out a long howl and pounced on the middle-aged man like a gust of wind. He executed the second move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon-cutting. Not good, be careful. An old man beside him shouted to warn him, but it was too late. Boosh, boosh. The moment Lu Ming charged out, 9 ice chains flew out of his body like 9 bolts of lightning. They arrived first and wrapped around the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man was a little dumbfounded after being forced back by Lu Ming with one move. In a battle between experts, a single mistake could be fatal. At this moment he wanted to dodge, but it was too late. His body was bound by 9 ice chains. Open it. The middle-aged man roared and tried to use his divine power to jump away from the ice chains. However, Lu Ming's cultivation level had improved greatly and the power of the ice shackles had also increased by a large margin. He could not jump away at all for the time being. Lu Ming had already arrived. No! The middle-aged man let out a desperate roar. Then a crescent-shaped spear light flashed and the middle-aged man was directly cut in half, dying on the spot. In an instant, Lu Ming had killed a first-level celestial deity. Lu Ming's current strength was enough to kill the Toad King, but the middle-aged man's strength was not as strong as the Toad King's. Moreover, he had underestimated Lu Ming's strength. After being pushed back by Lu Ming, he was momentarily dazed, which was why he was killed by Lu Ming's lightning-fast attack. All of this happened too quickly. It was so fast that the other 7 didn't even have time to save him. This kid. The other 7 people looked at Lu Ming with deep shock in their eyes. Lu Ming's speed of improvement was too fast. Now he could actually kill a divine realm expert. If this continued, it was a sure thing that he would catch up or even surpass the other holy sons. Everyone, we can't let this man live. Let's attack together. No matter what, we must kill him. At the scene, the only 3rd-level heavenly deity old man spoke with a grave expression. Although he was 100% confident that he could kill Lu Ming as long as he made a move, he still invited the others to join him as he was afraid that Lu Ming would run away again. Let's attack together. The others nodded and divine power of all colors exploded. If you want to kill me together, I'll kill you first. Killing intent flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He took heavy steps and his figure actually rushed towards the 3rd-level celestial deity elder, punching him. Courting death. The old man did not expect Lu Ming to attack him. Although Lu Ming was powerful, he was still a far cry from him. He would be courting death if he was the first one to rush at him. Therefore he was distracted for a moment and used a defensive divine skill as a defense. Then a sword light burst out from his palm and slashed toward Lu Ming. Zizi. Lu Ming's wrist was flashing with lightning. The reason why Lu Ming was the first to attack the 3rd-level celestial deity was naturally not because he wanted to rely on his own abilities but on Xiao. Wisps of lightning appeared on the bangle that Xiao had transformed into. As Lu Ming threw a punch, a bolt of lightning as thick as an arm shot toward the elder. Boom. The old man's sword light was instantly destroyed. The lightning didn't stop and continued to strike the other party. His opponent's defensive divine skill was like a piece of paper. Couldn't even withstand a single blow. The lightning struck his body and the old man screamed. His body flew out and fell tens of thousands of meters away. His whole body twitched and was charred black. He was exhaling more than he was inhaling. The old man was on the verge of death in one move, and the remaining 6 people were almost scared to death. Xiao kill. Lu Ming roared and waved his hand. Xiao flew out directly towards a 2nd-level celestial deity. As it flew out, Xiao extended 2 tentacles and transformed them into 2 sabers, slashing out continuously. The man was shocked and quickly blocked it. However, when a 2nd-level heavenly deity faced Xiao, he could only be abused. The saber light slashed past and that person was directly killed. Following that, Xiao charged towards another 2nd-level celestial deity. As for Lu Ming, he charged towards a 1st-tier celestial deity. The 9 ice chains quickly wrapped around the other party. Open it. The man's saber kept slashing out and in an instant he had slashed out hundreds of times trying to break the ice chains. The ice chains were agitated and sparks flew in all directions. However, the shocking coldness of the ice chains also flowed through the saber and rushed to his whole body, making him feel cold as if he was going to be frozen. Moon slaying. Lu Ming arrived and cast the Moon Slayer. This move was more powerful than the one Lu Ming had just cast. This was because Lu Ming had already triggered the fourfold increase in combat power. Chapter 2818 Kill them all. You want to kill me? In your dreams. The other party roared and exerted all his strength. He slashed out with his saber and collided with Lu Ming's attack. The other party's body trembled violently, and he spat out a large mouthful of blood as his figure retreated. A nine-clawed divine dragon suddenly appeared above Lu Ming's head. It let out a long roar and pounced toward the other party. Nine-clawed divine dragon. The saint's divine dragon materialization art. The other party let out an extremely frightened roar, and then his body was grabbed by the nine-clawed divine dragon, tearing him apart. There were a total of 8 people on the other side and now 4 had fallen, leaving only 4. 2 first-level heavenly deities and 2 second-level heavenly deities. While Xiao already charged towards another second-level heavenly deity. Let's go. The remaining people were already scared out of their wits. They had no fighting power at all, so they turned around and ran. In that case, they were even less of a match for Lu Ming and the rest. Xiao executed that kind of lightning again. A bolt of lightning struck out and struck a second-level celestial deity expert to death. In the Xian sect, these people were all outer sect elders or inner sect deacons. They were usually high and mighty, but now they were falling one after another. Xiao continued to charge towards the last second-level celestial deity, while Lu Ming charged towards the last 2 first-level celestial deities. The divine dragon phenomenon let out a long roar and pounced towards an elder first-level celestial deity, while he himself charged towards another first-level celestial deity. Lu Ming were the outer sect elders of Xian sect. You can't kill us. That's right. We're the Xian sect's heroes. You'll be committing treason if you kill us. A few of the elders began to roar. To think that you've lived for so many years, yet you still say such words. Isn't it laughable? Lu Ming said coldly, his tone filled with mockery. Previously they had been bent on killing Lu Ming. Now that they were about to be killed, they had to bring up their status as outer sect elders of Xian sect in hopes that Lu Ming would let them off. Only a fool would let them go. This old man will fight you to the death. An elder roared angrily. He knew that Lu Ming would not let them off. He burned his divine power with all his might and charged at Lu Ming, wanting to take him down with him. However, a bolt of lightning struck down and the old man's body froze in the air. He was struck into a pile of charcoal. It turned out that Xiao had already dealt with the last second-level heavenly deity and had returned to help Lu Ming. This way there was only one last first-level celestial deity left. Ah! The old man roared. He knew that he was going to die. He burned his divine power frantically and attacked Lu Ming. Xiao, leave this to me. Lu Ming kept hitting the ball and stopped it from shooting. He could use this person to train himself. Buzz. With a shake of the long spear, Lu Ming charged towards the person. This person had burned his divine power and his strength had increased by a large margin. He might have already surpassed the Toad King by a little. Lu Ming could use this as a practice. The 9 ice chains whistled, the 9-clawed divine dragon roared, and Lu Ming attacked himself. They kept attacking the other party. Even if the other party burned his divine power, he was still at a disadvantage. The 2 sides fought intensely and in an instant they had exchanged dozens of moves. The other party was pushed back by Lu Ming. He could not burn his divine power for long. As the other party's divine power was consumed, he was not Lu Ming's match. What a monster. The saint has offended such a person. If we can't kill him as soon as possible, he will die in his hands sooner or later. Forget it. At this moment the old man sighed in his heart. Lu Ming's talent and combat strength had deeply shocked him. He could almost see the Tianhong Saint's son dying at Lu Ming's hands in the near future. After exchanging a few more moves, the man's body was pierced by Lu Ming's spear and he died on the spot. The 8 experts sent by the Tianhong Saint's son and the Transient Light Saint's son to kill Lu Ming had all been killed. Including that 3rd-level celestial deity existence. At this moment he was already completely devoid of life aura. Lu Ming kept all 8 of their storage rings. 8 heavenly god realm storage rings, this would be a huge harvest. After keeping it, Lu Ming left the place in a flash. In the following days, Lu Ming continued to venture deeper into the mountain range. He was getting further and further away from the base. The deeper they went, the stronger the demons and devils that appeared. They would encounter celestial deity-level demons from time to time. Under normal circumstances, Lu Ming would not allow Xiao to fight. He would fight the demons alone, train himself and collect natural treasures at the same time. Just like that, Lu Ming wandered in the desolate mountains for half a year. Roar. Lu Ming and the 3 demons were engaged in a fierce battle in a mountain valley. These 3 fiendish demons were all at the first-level celestial deity realm. Furthermore, the strength of each of them was extremely shocking, not any weaker than the Toad King back then. The 3 of them joined hands and pounced with astonishing power. Lu Ming used all his means to fight the 3 demons. Ice chains, divine dragon dharma power, 3 world-destroying strikes, 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique, 9 layers of crimson gold armor. Lu Ming used all his means and fought the 3 demons for hundreds of moves. Great, this is really great. The more he fought, the stronger Lu Ming's fighting spirit was. He felt that every cell in his body was jumping and it was extremely satisfying. After half a year of training, Lu Ming had made great progress in all aspects. All of his divine skills, such as the 3 apocalyptic strikes, the 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique, and the 9-layer crimson gold armor, had all reached the peak of the 5th layer. This rate of improvement was extremely shocking. The further one cultivated a divine skill, the harder it was to improve. It would take a long time to move, especially since Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the 5th stage of True God realm. Lu Ming was able to cultivate several types of divine skills to the peak of the 5th level in just half a year due to the continuous fierce battles. Especially the demons here, they were fierce and brutal, their strength was shocking, the effective training would be even better. His comprehension of the battle formula had increased by 4 times, and his success rate had reached 1/10. Moreover, in the past 6 months, Lu Ming had obtained a lot of divine medicine. Most of them were given to the quantity formula to be devoured and refined. The energy that was refined was passed to Lu Ming. Now Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the 5th stage True God realm and he was not far from the 6th stage True God realm. This speed was no different from riding a rocket. Roar. Since the start of the battle, the 3-headed demon's energy had been severely depleted. It was starting to run out of energy and was slowly being suppressed by Lu Ming. The 3 demons started to retreat. In the end, they growled and actually turned to run. "Want to leave? Xiao will leave it to you." Lu Ming waved his hand and Xiao flew out. It opened its mouth and spat out 3 bolts of lightning, which struck the 3 demons and killed them. In the depths of the call, there was a stalk of glistening divine medicine. One look and one could tell that it was not an ordinary item. Lu Ming walked over and kept the divine medicine before leaving the place. After a few days, Lu Ming was wandering in a forest. Buzz. Whoosh. Suddenly, a group of people flew over the forest. Treasure trove. A group of people flew over Lu Ming's head, exuding a powerful pressure. All of them were at the celestial realm. So many experts. They're from the indestructible sword sect. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. There were middle-aged, old, and even young people in this group. Each of them carried a sword on their back. One look at their attire and Lu Ming knew that they were from the indestructible sword sect, one of the 3 overlords. These people had also noticed Lu Ming, but they only cast him a cold glance before ignoring him and flying in one direction, as if they had something important to do. Lu Ming did not think too much about it. He continued to wander in the forest in search of natural treasures. However, not long after, someone flew past Lu Ming's head. This time there were fewer people, only 4. They are from the unique Devil Academy. Lu Ming's eyes flickered when he saw the 4 people's attire. Wait a moment. The 4 of them had already flown past when an old man suddenly called out and the 4 of them stopped. The old man's gaze shifted to Lu Ming. So it's this kid. That Lu Ming who got first place in the 13 clans assessment. This kid actually managed to come here. The old man was astonished to see Lu Ming. He had seen Lu Ming before. Lu Ming had won first place in the 13 clans assessment. He had even invited Lu Ming to join the unique Demon Academy, but Lu Ming had rejected him. He had a deep impression of Lu Ming, so he had recognized Lu Ming with a quick glance. "Elder Hong, you know this kid?" A young man among the four asked. "I've seen this kid before. He got first place in the 13 clans assessment. This kid can actually run here." "Wait a minute, this kid's cultivation has already reached stage 5 true god. How is this possible?" Old man Hong's eyes widened in shock when he saw Lu Ming's cultivation level. He remembered very clearly that Lu Ming had not even reached virtual god level during the 13 clans assessment. He was only a demigod. Now less than 100 years had passed and Lu Ming had actually cultivated to the 5th stage of true god realm. What kind of cultivation speed was this? The old man surnamed Hong's heart was in turmoil. It hasn't even been 100 years since the first place of the last 13 clans assessment. In less than 100 years his cultivation has risen to stage 5 true god. Then how strong was his cultivation at that time? Another person asked. "Demigod." The old man surnamed Hong said. "Demigod? What? Demigod?" The other three were completely stunned. Then cold killing intent filled their eyes. Such a talented person, yet he was not a member of their unique demon academy, so he should be eliminated. "I'm going to kill him," the young man said coldly. He took a step forward and rushed toward Lu Ming, then he pressed his palm down. This young man was also a heaven's favorite in the unique demon academy. At such a young age, he already had the cultivation of a first-level heavenly deity and was not any weaker than Lu Feiyun. The way he saw it, with his first-level celestial deity cultivation, dealing with a 5th-level true god person was still a matter of settling with one palm. "You still want to kill me like this?" Lu Ming's heart was burning with anger and was filled with murderous intent. He didn't even say a word, but the other party wanted to kill him. He was really overbearing. Since that was the case, Lu Ming's eyes were extremely cold. His figure soared into the sky, divine power surging wildly. Divine dragon materialization art. Lu Ming immediately used his strongest killing move. A 9-clawed divine dragon emerged and roared as it pounced toward the other party. This is. Sensing the terrifying aura of the 9-clawed divine dragon, the 4 people from the unique demon academy were all shocked. Roar. The 9-clawed divine dragon roared and rushed forward, completely crushing the young man's palm force. The dragon claw stepped out and grabbed the young man. That youth would never have expected that Lu Ming, a 5th stage true god, could actually burst out with such a terrifying attack. It was too late to dodge. "Kid, stop. Don't you dare." The others roared in anger and wanted to help, but it was too late. The young man was torn apart by the divine dragon phenomenon. "You're looking for death." When the remaining 3 saw this scene, they all roared in anger, their eyes red. A first-level heavenly deity had died just like that. Their hearts ached so much that it was about to drip blood. The 3 of them charged at Lu Ming in a fit of rage, their powerful auras filling the air. One was at the 1st level of the celestial deity realm, one was at the 2nd level of the celestial deity realm, and one was at the 3rd level of the celestial deity realm. "Brat, I'm going to grind your bones and scatter your ashes," the old man with the surname Hong bellowed. He had a 3rd-level celestial deity cultivation base and exuded a terrifying killing intent as he charged towards Lu Ming. One of the reasons why he wanted to kill Lu Ming so badly was because Lu Ming had killed the young man. The biggest reason was that Lu Ming's combat strength had shocked him. Lu Ming's ability was too terrifying. He must be eliminated. "Qiu Qiu." Lu Ming waved his hand and Qiu Qiu flew out. "Get lost." The old man surnamed Hong didn't put Qiu Qiu in his eyes at all. He struck out with a move wanting to send Qiu Qiu flying. However, a bolt of lightning shot out from Qiu Qiu's body and pierced through the old man's attack, landing on the old man surnamed Hong. The old man screamed as he was sent flying, smashing into a few ancient trees. He was already half dead. The other 2 were already dumbfounded. Buzz. Qiu Qiu's figure flashed and directly slashed out with a blade. That 2nd-level celestial deity was killed by Qiu Qiu's blade, leaving only that 1st-level celestial deity. "Don't kill me, don't kill me." That 1st-level heavenly deity burly man almost peed his pants in fear. He shouted out in fear, his body trembling non-stop. At this moment Lu Ming was simply a demon in his eyes. "Is it possible that I won't kill you?" Lu Ming took a step forward. His cold killing intent made the middle-aged man's body tremble even more. "Don't kill me, don't kill me." As long as you don't kill me, I'll tell you a secret of a treasure. The middle-aged man shouted. The secret to the treasure? Lu Ming's eyes flashed. Seeing that Lu Ming was moved, the middle-aged man saw a chance to live. He was overjoyed and quickly shouted, "That's right, we found a place that definitely has amazing treasures. As long as you let me go, I'll tell you the location of that place. You don't have the right to negotiate with me. Speak or I'll kill you right now." Lu Ming said coldly. "No, you must promise not to kill me. Otherwise I will never tell you. I will die anyway." The middle-aged man gritted his teeth. "Oh." Lu Ming rolled his eyes and nodded. "All right, as long as what you said is true, I won't kill you." "It's true." The middle-aged man's eyes lit up. "Nonsense, of course it's true. Hurry up and tell me or I'll kill you right now." Lu Ming said coldly. All right, I'll tell you." The burly man immediately explained the geographical location. "I've already told you. Can you let me go now?" The middle-aged man looked at Lu Ming hopefully. "Let you go? After I let you go, are you going to wait for reinforcements to come and kill me?" Lu Ming sneered. Chapter 2821 Gathering of Various Sects. You just said you wouldn't kill me." Upon hearing Lu Ming's words, the middle-aged man looked terrified and screamed in horror. "I said that I won't kill you myself, but I didn't say that I won't let others kill you. Xiao, kill him." Lu Ming waved his hand. "Ah, you'll die. Horrible death. You broke your promise." The middle-aged man roared in anger, turned around and ran. However, he was only a first-level heavenly deity, so how could he be Xiao's match? Xiao caught up to him and killed him in a few moves. Then Lu Ming went forward and completely dealt with the old man with the surname Hong. "A treasure," Lu Ming muttered and revealed an interested expression. Since he had nothing to do, he might as well go and take a look. Immediately, Lu Ming flew to the location that the burly man told him. However, Lu Ming maintained his vigilance. He restrained his aura, slowed down and headed in that direction. At this moment, in a place more than 100,000 miles away from Lu Ming, here there was a dense forest with ancient trees that reached the sky. The strange thing was that there were no trees in the middle of the forest. From a distance one could see some stone buildings. However, it was too far away and he couldn't see clearly. At this moment, a group of people were confronting each other on the outskirts of the forest. This group of people was divided into 4 groups. If other people were to see this, they would definitely be shocked. This was because these 4 groups of people all had shocking backgrounds. The Indestructible Sword Sect, the Yimo Academy and the Boundless Holy Land. The last group was the Ice Soul Clan. Each force had a few hundred people present. "Everyone, this place was first discovered by our unique Demon Academy. It should belong to our unique Demon Academy. What is the meaning of this?" A purple-robed young man in the unique Demon Academy said coldly. This purple-robed young man was a powerful holy son of the unique Devil Academy. "What a joke. You guys discovered it first, so it's yours? This is an ownerless item, so anyone who sees it will have a share," said a young man from the Eternal Sword Sect. This young man was a holy son of the Indestructible Sword Sect. His status and strength were not inferior to that of the purple-robed young man from the unique Demon Academy. "That's right. Since you haven't obtained the unique Devil Academy, anyone can fight for the treasures inside." The Boundless Holy Land Saint Child spoke coldly as he looked at the center of the forest with fiery eyes. They could clearly feel that the energy of the world was constantly gathering towards that area, as if something was constantly absorbing the essence of the world energy. There was definitely a treasure inside. The Ice Soul Clan did not say anything, but their attitude spoke for itself. The purple-robed young man and the others from the Winged Demon Academy looked terrible. They knew that it was impossible for the unique Devil Academy to monopolize this place. "Then what are you going to do?" The purple-robed youth said coldly. "Simple. There are terrifying demons living in this forest. It won't be easy to pass through. We'll rely on our own abilities. Whoever can get the treasure will get it. We'll talk with our strength." The saint of the Inextinguishable Sword Sect smiled faintly, full of confidence. "All right, let's do that." The purple-robed young man of the Winged Demon Academy had no choice but to agree. "Who is it?" Suddenly, the purple-robed young man from the Winged Demon Academy shouted coldly. His sharp eyes looked in one direction. The other experts seemed to have sensed something as well and looked over. "I didn't expect to be discovered so quickly. Between the branches of an ancient tree, Lu Ming touched his nose. He had just arrived when he saw the four sides confronting each other. He wanted to hide in the dark and observe the situation, but he didn't expect to be noticed. The purple-robed young man from the Winged Demon Academy had an amazing perception. Since he had been discovered, there was nothing to hide. Lu Ming flew out directly. Lu Ming. As soon as Lu Ming flew out, a surprised voice was heard from the Ice Soul clan. It was the 9th young master of the Ice Soul clan, Bingqing. Brother Bingqing. Lu Ming smiled. He had already found Bingqing when he was hiding. Brother Lu, I didn't expect to meet you here. Bingqing laughed. You're Lu Ming, the Kongshen sect's Lu Ming? Suddenly a cold gaze looked at Lu Ming. Then a gloomy voice was heard. Lu Ming looked over and realized that the person who spoke was the purple-robed young man from the Unique Devil Academy. That's right, I'm Lu Ming. Lu Ming answered calmly. Good, very good. I was just about to look for you, but you delivered yourself to me. My junior brother Lu Xianxia died by your hands, right? The purple-robed young man said coldly, and his cold killing intent spread out. So you're Lu Xianxia's senior brother. Lu Xianxia was looking for death. I've already let him off a few times, but he still sneaked an attack on me. He's just looking for his own death. Lu Ming said indifferently. How audacious. Savage. A few angry roars sounded. Bang. Bang. Some of the experts from the Unique Demon Academy stepped out. Their powerful auras burst out and pressed toward Lu Ming. You killed my junior brother. Today I will destroy your cultivation and feed you to the demons. The purple-robed young man said coldly. He stepped forward and was about to kill Lu Ming. Hold on. Bingqing called out and moved, landing in front of Lu Ming. Young Master Bing, what are you doing? This matter has nothing to do with you. Move aside. The purple-robed youth shouted coldly. Who said it has nothing to do with me? Lu Ming is a good friend of the Ice Soul clan. If you want to touch him, you'll have to go through the Ice Soul clan first. Bingqing shouted. As soon as he finished speaking, some of the Ice Soul clan's experts appeared in front of Lu Ming. They exuded an icy cold aura, as if the scene had immediately entered winter. The purple-robed young man's face darkened. When the Yimo Academy went to the Ice Soul clan to help them retrieve the Ice Jade Cold Heart, some of them were fine. They told him about the Ice Soul clan when they returned. He knew that Lu Ming had helped the Ice Soul clan retrieve the Ice Jade Cold Heart and gain the Ice Soul clan's friendship. It seemed impossible for him to kill Lu Ming today. This kid is Lu Ming. Some of the people from the Indestructible Sword Sect and the Infinite Saint also had cold glints in their eyes. A strong killing intent spread toward Lu Ming. Back then, in the battle at the Ice Soul clan's ancestral land, many of the geniuses from the Indestructible Sword Sect and the Boundless Holy Land had died at Lu Ming's hands. However, they did not stand up for now. They hoped that the Unique Devil Academy and the Ice Soul clan would fight each other and suffer heavy losses so that they could benefit from it. Lu Ming, the Ice Soul clan can protect you for now, but they can't protect you forever. Let's wait and see. The purple-robed young man didn't make a move. Instead, he left behind a cold sentence and turned around to rush into the forest. Let's go. The purple-robed young man gave the order. The people from the Unique Demon Academy followed the purple-robed young man and rushed toward the forest. The people from the Indestructible Sword Sect and the Boundless Holy Land were a little disappointed. However, since the Yimo Academy did not make a move, they naturally would not make the first move. The strength of the Ice Soul clan was not to be taken lightly. Let's go. Let's go. The people from the Indestructible Sword Sect and the Boundless Holy Land also flew towards the forest. Chapter 2821 Frightening Statue. Brother Lu, there might be treasures in the middle of the forest. Do you want to come with us? Bingqing laughed. That's what I was thinking. Lu Ming nodded. Without further ado, let's set off. A young man from the Ice Soul clan gave the order. He was one of Bingqing's brothers, the third young master of the Ice Soul clan. He was also a peerless genius. Lu Ming immediately followed the Ice Soul clan's expert and flew toward the forest. When they flew into the sky above the forest, a series of hissing sounds came from the forest below. Then a group of black figures shot out and pounced at them. Flying snake. They were flying snakes as thick as a finger. They had wings and were as fast as black lightning. Be careful. The Ice Soul clan's third young master reminded them. He struck out with his palm and a cold wave surged. Immediately, dozens of flying snakes were frozen and fell into the forest. The other members of the Ice Soul clan attacked as well. Icy palm forces, icy fist forces, and icy sword beams slashed at the flying snakes. The flying snakes were shot down continuously, but there were too many of them and they were very powerful. Some of the Ice Soul clan members were injured or even killed. Bush. Lu Ming kept stabbing with his long spear. Spear light burst out and sent more than 10 flying snakes flying. Some of them exploded directly. Brother Lu, your strength. On the side, Bing Qing was shocked. Lu Ming's ability had greatly exceeded his expectations. Back then, when Lu Ming went to help them get the Ice Jade Chilling Heart, his cultivation had just broken through to True God level, but now he was already at the 5th stage True God realm. I'm lucky. My cultivation has increased a little during this period of time. Lu Ming said casually. My cultivation has increased a little. Bing Qing's eyelids twitched and she wailed in her heart. Was this a little? From stage 1 True God to stage 5 True God, this was called a point? He also wanted to increase the price a little. The other members of the Ice Soul clan, including the 3rd young master, were also shocked by Lu Ming's strength. But now that they were facing a crisis, they didn't think too much and continued to rush forward. In a few other directions, the Immortal Sword Sect, the Unique Demon Academy, and the Boundless Holy Land were also facing the attacks of the flying snakes. The deeper they went, the more flying snakes there were. It was as if there were countless flying snakes hidden under the forest. They were so densely packed that it made one's scalp tingle. Their speed became slower and slower and it became more and more strenuous. Those below the Heavenly Deity stage hide in the middle. Those above the Heavenly Deity stage open a path outside. The Ice Soul clan's 3rd young master shouted. He ordered those below the Heavenly God level to hide in the middle and those above the Heavenly God level to surround him. He attacked with all his might. The cold air surged and large groups of flying snakes were frozen into popsicles, falling into the forest. 2 hours later, they finally rushed out of the forest and arrived at the central area of the forest. This place was extremely wide and boundless. There was not a single blade of grass, only stone pillars. Each stone pillar was separated by a certain distance. Each stone pillar was 100 meters tall and was randomly distributed on the open space. And below the stone pillars there were statues. These statues were also made of stone. Some of them were as tall as a person while others were more than 10 meters tall. They looked very realistic. The only things he could see were stone pillars and statues. Also, deep within the stone pillar and statue there was a tree. A giant tree that was over 1,000 meters tall. What surprised them was that the leaves of this tree were extremely strange. They were not green but black, shaped like swords, like black iron swords. The strangest thing was the fruit of this tree. There was only one fruit on the tree and it was a stone fruit. Yes, it looked like it was carved out of stone and hung on the crown of the tree. It was the size of a basin and was covered with strange patterns. The energy of the world continued to gather and finally gathered on the fruit. The end point of the energy convergence was this fruit. A treasure. Everyone's eyes were burning with passion. Although no one knew what the fruit was, they all knew that it was definitely a treasure. It's mine. The eyes of the purple-robed young man from the Unique Devil Academy flashed. Then he led the people from the Unique Devil Academy and rushed toward the big tree. Don't even think about it. The people from the Indestructible Sword Sect, the Boundless Holy Land, and the Ice Soul clan also rushed toward the tree. But just as they were charging forward, the statues that had been motionless suddenly moved. Thump. Boom. The statues took a step forward and their heavy bodies caused the ground to shake. They then charged toward the crowd. The purple-robed young man from the Unique Demon Academy was the first to be attacked. A 10-meter-tall statue holding a stone sword slashed at him. The purple-robed young man's eyes narrowed and he shouted, "Get lost." Then a demonic blade flew out of the purple-robed young man's hand. Clang. The purple-robed young man's demonic blade collided with the statue's stone sword, creating a terrifying boom. It formed circles of terrifying sound waves that spread out. At the moment of collision, the purple-robed young man's expression changed drastically. His body seemed to have been hit by a divine mountain and he actually retreated. At this moment, even more statues arrived. Ah! Ah! Blood splattered everywhere and miserable screams continued to ring out. In the blink of an eye, at least dozens of people from the unique Devil Academy had died in the hands of the various statues. Not only the Yimo Academy but also the Immortal Sword Sect, the Boundless Holy Land, and the Ice Soul Clan had people killed by the statues. The strength of these statues was shockingly strong. Moreover, the taller and bigger one was, the stronger one's strength would be. Thump. Boom. The feet of these statues seemed to be equipped with springs, and they jumped up hundreds of meters high. They waved all kinds of different stone weapons and attacked the crowd. Lu Ming was also facing a great enemy. An 8-meter-tall statue with a stone sword in its hand charged toward Lu Ming. The stone sword slashed out and the space whistled. The terrifying force pressed down on Lu Ming, making it difficult for him to breathe. Moon slaying. Lu Ming's spear struck out and he immediately cast the 3 apocalyptic strikes. Clang. The statue's stone sword slashed at the long spear, causing it to vibrate non-stop. Lu Ming's body retreated frantically, feeling his arm go numb as if it was going to split open. Buzz. After the stone sword pushed Lu Ming back, it charged at him again. Not only that, on the other side, there was another 8 to 9 meter tall statue that was charging toward Lu Ming. It was a pincer attack and Lu Ming was in danger. Ball. Lu Ming waved his hand and Xiao flew out. Its body was filled with lightning and a bolt of lightning blasted out, bombarding the statue. However, to Lu Ming's surprise, the statue seemed to be fine even after the lightning struck it. It did not slow down and continued to attack Lu Ming. It's actually useless. Lu Ming's heart trembled. Xiao saw that the lightning was useless, so it could only use its round body to crash into the other party and meet force with force. Chapter 2822 Ancient Gods' Hearts. Miraculous effects. At this moment, the experts of the 4 forces were completely at a disadvantage. They were surrounded by a large group of statues and people were constantly being killed. Not to mention those below the heavenly deity level, even the holy sons were in danger. The purple-robed young man and the Ice Soul Clan's 3rd young master were surrounded by several statues that were more than 10 meters tall. If Bing Qing did not have the protection of the Ice Soul Clan's experts, she would most likely be in danger as well. Lu Ming, you've walked into a large formation. These statues move with the formation. Anyone who enters the formation will be killed. Bone's voice echoed in his mind. A formation? How do I break it? Lu Ming quickly asked for guidance. It's very simple, super simple. Do you see those stone pillars? You just have to jump on the stone pillars and walk on them. Bone said. It's that simple? Lu Ming was stunned. Nonsense, it's that simple. It's just that you guys are stupid and didn't realize it. Bone said in disdain. Lu Ming was at loss. Let's try. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He let Xiao return to his side and struck with all his might with his spear, colliding with a statue. He used the force to retreat quickly. Then he stomped on the ground and his figure soared into the sky, landing on a statue. When Lu Ming landed on the statues, the few statues that were chasing after him seemed to have lost track of him. They scanned their surroundings suspiciously and then attacked the others. It was indeed useful. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Brother Bing, quickly get on the stone pillar. The statue won't attack the person on the pillar. Lu Ming quickly sent a voice transmission to Bing Qing and the rest. When Bing Qing and the others heard this, their eyes lit up as well. Then they fought the statue with all their might and rushed up the stone pillar. When they reached the top of the stone pillar, the statues stopped attacking them. Bing Qing and the others were overjoyed. Third brother, everyone quickly get on the stone pillar. Bing Qing shouted and informed the 3rd young master of the Ice Soul Clan. Charge up the stone pillar. The Ice Soul Clan's 3rd young master pushed back a statue with a single palm. In a flash, he also rushed up to a stone pillar. The other members of the Ice Soul Clan used their own methods and rushed to the stone pillars. Of course, there were also many people who were killed by the statues in the process of charging. The Ice Soul Clan originally had nearly 300 people, but hundreds of them had been killed in such a short time. It was a heavy loss. Stone pillar, charge up the stone pillar. When the people from the Yimo Academy, the Immortal Sword Sect and the Boundless Holy Land saw this scene, they also came to a sudden realization and rushed toward the stone pillar. After paying the price, the people from the 3 forces also rushed to different stone pillars. After that, everyone leaped from the stone pillars and rushed towards the big tree in front of them. Boom! Just as Lu Ming leaped onto one of the stone pillars, A sharp saber gleam slashed at the stone pillar beneath his feet. Boom! The stone pillar crumbled. This fellow. Lu Ming swept his gaze and realized that the person who had shattered the stone pillar under his feet was the purple-robed young man from the unique demon academy. Go to hell. The purple-robed youth sneered. As soon as the stone pillar crumbled, the statues immediately sensed Lu Ming's presence. Thump. Boom. Immediately, a few 10-meter-tall statues leaped up and charged toward Lu Ming at the same time. Lu Ming's expression changed. Divine Dragon Materialization Art. Lu Ming immediately used the Divine Dragon Materialization Art. A 9-clawed Divine Dragon phenomenon flew out and charged at a statue. At the same time, the 9 ice chains also flew out. Then he activated the 9-layer crimson gold armor. In an instant, Lu Ming used all his means including Xianxia, which turned into a shield and blocked in front of him. However, these 10-meter-tall statues were too powerful. The divine dragon image shook and was directly shattered by a stone sword. The 9 ice chains also shattered. Boom. Lu Ming was hit by a few consecutive attacks. His body was like a cannonball crashing to the ground with a huge boom. Lu Ming felt as if his body was about to split apart. He spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. He had been injured just now. However, the most fatal thing was that Lu Ming was the only one under the stone pillar at the moment. The number of statues was shocking. At that moment, the statues charged at Lu Ming one after another, trying to drown him. Brother Lu, Bing Qing was shocked, but at this moment they were helpless to help. Haha, you want to fight me? Go to hell. The purple-robed youth laughed wildly. The people from the indestructible sword sect and the boundless Holy Land looked on coldly, hoping that Lu Ming would die at the hands of the statue. What do we do? At this moment, Lu Ming was almost in a desperate situation. There were statues rushing towards him from all directions. With so many statues, one move was enough to turn him into ashes. Thump. Boom. At that moment, Lu Ming's heart was beating rapidly. A strange aura filled the air. The aura of an ancient god. Lu Ming's heart was the ancient god's heart. At that moment, it was giving off a wondrous aura. When the aura spread out, the statues froze. A few of the terrifying statues' attacks were about to hit Lu Ming, but at this moment they could not help but stop. This is a good opportunity. How could Lu Ming miss such a rare opportunity? He became one with the spear and turned into a dazzling spear gleam. He jumped away from a statue and rushed to the nearest stone pillar, avoiding the disaster. Damn it, what's going on? Those statues, why did their movements become so stiff? Seeing this, the purple-robed young man roared unwillingly in his heart, and his eyes flickered with ferocious killing intent. The others were also stunned and confused. Just now they had thought that Lu Ming was dead for sure. Even if any of the other holy sons were in such a situation, they would die without a doubt, let alone Lu Ming. However, the movements of the statues suddenly stiffened. Lu Ming seized the opportunity and escaped. Ancient God's heart. My ancient God's heart is useful for these statues. Lu Ming's mind was racing. Not only that, Lu Ming even had a feeling that if he activated the ancient God's heart, he could even control these statues. This world's bronze door appeared in the holy land of the descendants of the ancient gods. This world might have a great connection with the descendants of the ancient gods, which is why the heart of the ancient god affected these statues. Lu Ming kept thinking and his eyes lit up slightly. This fellow, I will definitely take revenge for this. Lu Ming's cold eyes looked at the purple-robed young man. If not for the ancient god's heart, he would have been dead and the purple-robed young man would have been on his must-kill list. Lu Ming, you're lucky. I hope you'll be as lucky next time. The purple-robed young man snorted coldly, then turned around and rushed toward the big tree. Lu Ming sneered and dashed toward the big tree. At this time, the fastest group of people had already rushed past the stone pillar area and directly rushed to the fruit at the top of the big tree. Leaves as swords get lost. My unique Devil Academy was the first to discover this place. An expert from the unique Devil Academy roared furiously. So what if you found it first? If you want the treasure, let's see if you have the strength to do so. An expert from the Eternal Sword Sect sneered. Then I'll kill you. The experts from the Yimo Academy immediately charged towards the experts from the Immortal Sword Sect. Kill. Before the people of the four forces reached the big tree, they had already started a chaotic battle. They killed each other and in an instant someone was killed. Die. Kill. The battle was extremely brutal, and everyone's eyes were red as they fought with all their might. At this moment the purple-robed young man Lu Ming, and the others who were slightly behind just now had also arrived. Their figures flashed past, not participating in the battle but rushing to the top of the tree. Just as they neared the big tree there was another change. Buzz. 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 The leaves of the tree began to shake and the clanging of swords could be heard. Then some of the leaves fell off. Like pitch-black iron swords they attacked Lu Ming and the group. An expert from the boundless Holy Land couldn't dodge in time and was cut in half by a leaf. Blood splattered everywhere as his corpse fell to the ground. Many people's eyes narrowed. Whoosh. There was also a leaf that charged at Lu Ming like an extremely sharp divine sword. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. He thrust his spear. Clang. The long spear struck the leaf, producing a metallic clang. The leaf was sent flying by Lu Ming's strike, but the long spear in Lu Ming's hand continued to vibrate. Lu Ming could feel waves of terrifying sword chi flowing along the long spear towards him and into his palm. Lu Ming's palm was in excruciating pain, as if it was about to be torn apart by the sword aura. Block it, die! Lu Ming shouted. The divine power in his body surged into his palm, forcing the sword chi. Boosh, boosh. The sword chi was forced out of Lu Ming's palm. It turned into streaks of sword chi and flew into the sky before disappearing. What a terrifying sword chi, what a terrifying leaf! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. If even Lu Ming was in such a state, it was even worse for those with insufficient cultivation. Ah! Ah! There were continuous screams. Although some people managed to block the leaves, the sword chi entered their bodies and burst out. Their bodies were torn apart and even their souls couldn't escape. In an instant dozens of people died. Those below the sky celestial level, retreat. The purple-robed youth roared. Those below the sky celestial realm couldn't block the sword chi of these leaves. They would die if they rushed up. Those who were below the sky celestial realm all retreated and didn't dare to charge forward. The purple-robed young man, the Ice Soul Clan's third young master, the saint of the indestructible sword sect, and the rest of the strongest group kept charging forward. Their combat strength was astonishing and they sent the leaves flying. Buzz. Buzz. Whoosh. As everyone approached the fruit, the entire tree shook even more violently. More and more leaves were shaking, making a dense sword cry. Then more leaves fell and the sword chi soared to the sky, heading toward the purple-robed young man and the others. The most shocking thing was that these leaves seemed to form a sword array with infinite power. Saint children like the purple-robed young man and the Ice Soul Clan's third young master were all blocked and could not rush forward. Detestable. These people's expressions were very ugly. The treasure was right in front of him but it was blocked by some leaves. This kind of tree is really unique. Lu Ming retreated a distance and did not rush forward. He looked at the leaves and was secretly amazed. It was unheard of for a tree's leaves to be as sharp as a divine sword, with sword chi soaring into the sky and forming a sword formation. Thump. Boom. At this moment Lu Ming's heart was beating faster. Lu Ming had a feeling that he could avoid the attacks of the leaves. It was a wonderful feeling. He'll try to control the ancient god's heart. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He then controlled the ancient god's heart and made it beat faster. A wondrous aura enveloped Lu Ming. This was the aura of an ancient god. Then Lu Ming dashed towards the crown of the big tree again. Whoosh, whoosh. Immediately, a few leaves whizzed out and flew towards Lu Ming. The sword chi whistled, causing Lu Ming's body to tense up. Don't tell me it's useless. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed and he was about to block it. However, at this moment when the leaves were close to Lu Ming, they suddenly changed direction and flew past him. It's really useful. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Lu Ming increased his speed and dashed toward the fruit at the top of the tree. The leaves seemed to have eyes when they rushed toward Lu Ming and all of them went around him. What's going on? The eyes of the purple-robed youth and the others almost popped out. The leaves did not attack Lu Ming. Without the obstruction of the sword-shaped leaf, Lu Ming was only a few kilometers away from the fruit. In an instant Lu Ming had reached the fruit. However, Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. As he activated the ancient god's heart, he also set up layers of defense on the surface of his body. Then he reached out to pick the fruit. To Lu Ming's surprise, he plucked the fruit very easily. It was light as a feather and seemed to be weightless. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He kept the fruit in his storage ring. Then, in a flash, he retreated quickly and left the attack range of the leaves in an instant. Kid, hand over the treasure. The purple-robed young man's eyes turned red. With a roar, he jumped off a few leaves and retreated, chasing after Lu Ming. You dare to snatch the treasure? You're courting death. Take him down. The saints of the inextinguishable sword sect and the boundless holy land roared and chased after Lu Ming. At the same time, the other experts from the major forces also chased after Lu Ming. The agreement just now belongs to whoever gets it. You want to go back on your word? The Ice Soul Clan's third young master shouted. He struck out with his palm at the same time. The icy power of his palm shot toward the boundless sacred land's saint, cutting off his path of retreat. The other Ice Soul Clan experts also moved to stop the boundless sacred land. However, no one from the unique Demon Academy or the Immortal Sword Sect stopped them. Under the lead of the purple-robed young man and the holy son of the indestructible sword sect, they quickly chased after Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming had already rushed up to the stone pillars. He leaped from the stone pillars and escaped outside. Lu Ming, hand over the treasure. Otherwise, it'll kill you even if you have to run to the ends of the earth. The purple-robed young man's voice was filled with killing intent. He sped up and rushed toward Lu Ming. The people from the indestructible sword sect and the unique Devil Academy also rushed into the stone pillar. The most powerful group of people from the two forces were far more powerful than Lu Ming. They were approaching Lu Ming at an alarming speed. Chapter 2824 Killing the Saint. The purple-robed young man and the rest were getting closer to Lu Ming, but Lu Ming's expression remained calm. At that moment he was activating the ancient god's heart, trying to control the statue below. Thump, thump, thump. The ancient god's heart beat rapidly, and a mysterious and invisible aura spread out like waves, sweeping over the statues. At this moment, Lu Ming had a feeling that these statues were worshipping him and listening to his orders. Move. With a thought, Lu Ming tried to control a few statues. They really moved, and their cold eyes swept over the purple-robed young man and the others. It's really useful. Very good. Then I'll send you on your way today. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with cold killing intent. Then Lu Ming activated the ancient god's heart with all his might and tried to control the statue. He realized that he could control at least a few dozen statues. Dozens of statues were enough. Attack. With a single thought from Lu Ming, the dozens of statues suddenly rushed up, brandishing all kinds of weapons and charged at the purple-robed young man, the holy son of the Eternal Sword Sect and the others. What's going on? The purple-robed youth and the others were shocked. Wasn't this stone pillar the only way to ensure his safety? Why did the statue suddenly attack them? They didn't have time to think, so they could only resist with all their strength. However, the statues suddenly changed their attacks. Instead of attacking the purple-robed young man and the others, they attacked the stone pillars under their feet. Boom, boom. At least a dozen people, including the purple-robed youth and the saint of the inextinguishable sword sect, had their stone pillars shattered. Just like Lu Ming, as soon as the stone pillar collapsed, a large number of statues sensed them and charged at them. It was too late for them to dodge. Bang, bang. More than a dozen experts were sent flying by the large group of statues and fell to the ground. A few of the weaker ones were even killed. Then more and more statues charged at the purple-robed young man and the others. Screams of pain rang out continuously as people were killed one after another. Soon, only the purple-robed young man, the Eternal Sword Sect's strongest 7 or 8 people were left. Ah, what's going on? Damn it! The purple-robed young man and the others roared and charged madly, trying to break out of the encirclement. However, there were too few of them while there were too many statues. Moreover, Lu Ming controlled dozens of statues to hold them back. They could not break out at all. The remaining people of the two forces were pale with fear when they saw this scene. Some people even went far away, afraid that the stone pillars would be broken and the statues would attack them. Ah, Lu Ming, are you the one behind this? The purple-robed young man roared as he glared at Lu Ming, his eyes filled with malevolent killing intent. Rest in peace. Lu Ming said coldly. Lu Ming, let me out. I am the holy son of the unique Devil Academy. If I die, you will not be able to pay for it even if you die 10 times or 100 times. Do you understand? The purple-robed youth roared. That's right. I'm the holy son of the indestructible sword sect. If I die here, the indestructible sword sect will definitely exterminate your entire sect. The saint of the eternal sword sect roared. I'm so scared. Do you think I'm scared? Lu Ming screamed, his face cold. Should he let these people out and wait for the other party to take revenge? How was that possible? No matter what, the other party wanted to kill him, so he would kill back regardless of which force he was from. A large group of statues charged toward the purple-robed youth and the others, including some that were more than 10 meters tall. They were shockingly powerful. Those who were trapped by the statues were killed one after another. Soon, only the purple-robed young man and the saint of the eternal sword sect were left. As for the two of them, they were both seriously injured and it would be difficult for them to resist. No, I don't want to die. Lu Ming, I beg you, let me go. At this moment, the purple-robed young man actually gave in and began to beg for mercy. However, Lu Ming's face was cold and indifferent. He was unmoved. Ah! With a shrill and unwilling scream, the saint of the indestructible sword sect had his head blown up by a statue that was more than 10 meters tall. He died on the spot. No. Seeing this, the purple-robed young man almost went crazy with fear and screamed hysterically. At that moment he was filled with regret. He regretted provoking Lu Ming. In the next moment, the purple-robed young man followed in the footsteps of the inextinguishable sword sect's holy son. He was struck by a stone sword and died on the spot. The two holy sons and more than a dozen experts from the indestructible sword sect and the unique demon academy were all dead. They were all killed by Lu Ming. The boundless sacred lands saint had already stopped fighting with the Ice Soul clan's third young master. His face was as white as snow and he was filled with lingering fear. If the Ice Soul clan's third young master had not stopped him, he would have died just like the purple-robed young man and the others. He did not know what method Lu Ming had used to control the statues. Lu Ming, you killed the holy son of our unique devil academy. Our unique devil academy will not let you off. Just wait for your death. I won't let you off even if I don't destroy the sword sect. In the distance, loud roars could be heard. At this moment, the people from the other unique demon academies and the indestructible sword sect had already rushed out of the range of the stone pillars. They were shouting as they flew. You're looking for death. Lu Ming said coldly. He controlled dozens of statues and chased after those people. Those people trembled in fear and then desperately rushed out. However, there were flying snakes flying out from the surrounding forest to attack them. They were even more frightened and rushed out with all their might. Very quickly, Lu Ming had rushed past the stone pillar area. However, he suddenly stopped because he realized that the dozens of statues had also stopped. They did not follow Lu Ming out. You can't come out? Lu Ming frowned. He tried a few times in a row, but it was to no avail. It seems that these statues can't leave this array. What a pity. Lu Ming sighed. These statues were all very powerful, especially those that were more than 10 meters tall. They were much stronger than him. If he could bring them out, they would be of great help to him. He would no longer have to fear the Tianhong Saint Sun and the Transient Light Saint Sun. If he had the chance, he might be able to kill them. Unfortunately, he couldn't bring it out now and this idea was ruined. Lu Ming did not chase after the people from the unique Devil Academy. There were many experts left on the other side of the immortal sword sect. Given Lu Ming's strength, not only would he not be able to kill them, but he would also be killed by them. Brother Lu, you're amazing. Bing Qing and the rest walked along the stone pillar and looked at Lu Ming in shock. I don't know what happened either. Lu Ming smiled and looked at the people from the boundless Holy Land in the depths of the stone pillar. The boundless Holy Land's people didn't even dare to step onto the stone pillar. Brother Bing, let's go, Lu Ming said. Lu Ming understood that if he did not leave, the people from the boundless Holy Land would not step onto the stone pillar. He could not kill them even if he wanted to. Bing Qing and the others nodded and everyone rushed out together. By the time they rushed out of the forest, the people from the unique Devil Academy and the Immortal Sword Sect had already disappeared. Chapter 2826 Trouble at the Door. Brother Lu, where are you going next? You've killed 2 holy sons of the unique Devil Academy and the Immortal Sword Sect. I'm afraid that the people from these 2 forces will not let you off. Bing Qing said, a little worried for Lu Ming. People at the saint level were the top geniuses of any force, and there would not be many of them. Every one of them had the chance to compete for the position of sect leader in the future. Their future achievements were limitless. Any force would feel heartache when such a person was killed. The experts from the two major forces would probably go crazy and hunt Lu Ming down. Even if Lu Ming were to train in the wilderness, the other party would most likely send a large number of experts to hunt him down. Lu Ming frowned. He had not thought about this clearly. It was not safe to return to the base of Xian sect. The Xian sect was only one of the top 10 sects in the Qin Heaven Galaxy. Although it was the leader of the top sects, there was still a gap between its strength and the three overlord forces. At that time, the unique Demon Academy and the indestructible Sword sect would attack the base of the Xian sect, and the Xian sect might not be able to protect him. Brother Lu, why don't you come with us to the Ice Soul Clan's base first? The unique Devil Academy and the Immortal Sword sect might be strong, but the Ice Soul Clan is not afraid of them. Bing Qing invited. That's right. You're the Ice Soul Clan's benefactor. The Ice Soul Clan will protect you with all our might. The third young master of the Ice Soul Clan said. Lu Ming had helped the Ice Soul Clan retrieve the Ice Jade Cold Heart. This was a great help to the Ice Soul Clan. The Ice Jade Cold Heart could help the Ice Soul Clan produce more geniuses. It was the hope for the rise of the Ice Soul Clan. They were very grateful to Lu Ming. Then thank you everyone. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said. He thought about it and decided that it was indeed the best time to go to the Ice Soul Clan's base. The group set off immediately and headed for the Ice Soul Clan's base. The Ice Soul Clan's base was also built in a forbidden land. It was tall and majestic. A large number of Ice Soul Clan members were active in the base, turning it into a big city. As soon as they arrived at the Ice Soul Clan's base, Bing Qing and the Ice Soul Clan's third young master brought Lu Ming to meet the only Divine King expert of the Ice Soul Clan there and told him what had happened. Brother Lu Ming, you can stay here. If the Indestructible Sword sect and the unique Devil Academy want to touch you, they'll have to go through the Ice Soul Clan first. The Ice Soul Clan's God King was very forceful and promised. Many thanks, Your Majesty. Lu Ming expressed his thanks. At this moment, furious roars could be heard from the bases of the unique Devil Academy and the Immortal Sword sect. Lu Ming, how dare you kill the holy son of our unique Demon Academy? How dare you? Men, come with me to the base of the Xian sect. A roar came from the base of the Yimo Academy. Then a large number of experts charged towards the Xian sect. At the same time, a roar came from the base of the Eternal Sword sect. Then a large number of powerful cultivators flew out from the base and headed for the Xian sect. Xian sect's base was bustling with activity. Since the exit had disappeared and they couldn't get out, everyone could rest easy and stay in this world to cultivate. Thump, thump, thump. All of a sudden the dull sound of war drums rang out in the Xian sect. The war drums have sounded. What's going on? Could it be that a large number of demons are attacking the city? No way, we've never encountered such a thing before. Many people were shocked. The battle drums were set up in the base of the Xian sect just in case. If something big happened, the drums would be sounded to get everyone to prepare for battle. However, ever since the base was built, the war drums had never been sounded. Why did they suddenly sound the war drums now? There was no time to think. Everyone in the Xian sect's base started to move and flew toward the city wall. They flew up to the city wall and saw a large group of experts in the distance. They were flying over in a menacing manner, each and every one of them filled with killing intent. The unique Devil Academy. It's the people from the unique Devil Academy. Why are so many people from the Yimo Academy heading toward our Xian sect's base? I don't know, but it looks like they're here with bad intentions. You guys, they're still. That's the Inextinguishable Sword sect. The people of Xian sect discussed animatedly. Suddenly someone shouted. The crowd was even more shocked and their faces turned grave. That was because, from another direction, another group of people was flying over with murderous intent. This group of people all carried long swords on their backs. They were from the Indestructible Sword sect. In the Yimo Academy, the army of the Immortal Sword sect stopped outside the base of the Xian sect. A cold aura and a terrifying pressure spread toward the base of the Xian sect, causing the expressions of many people to change drastically. May I know why you've gathered so many people to come to my Xian sect's base? A deep voice came from the depths of the Xian sect's base. Then the figure of a middle-aged man appeared in the sky. Your Majesty. The people from the Xian sect felt at ease when they saw this figure. This middle-aged man was the God King that the Arcane Void sect had sent over. We're here today for a disciple of your Xian sect. His name is Lu Ming. Hand him over. A cold voice came from the direction of the Unique Demon Academy. Then a figure appeared in the sky above the people of the Unique Demon Academy, and his body was covered with vast divine light. God King. He was also a God King, the God King of the Unique Devil Academy. What? I'm here for Lu Ming. The Unique Devil Academy is here for Lu Ming. What did Lu Ming do to cause the people of the Unique Devil Academy to mobilize so many people? Even the God Kings have come. When the people from Xian sect heard that, they started to make wild guesses. They were curious about what Lu Ming had done. What about you guys? Xian sect's Divine King Wu Wei looked in the direction of the Eternal Sword sect. I'm here for Lu Ming too. Hand him over. A figure appeared in the sky above the Inextinguishable Sword sect. This was the God King of the Inextinguishable Sword sect. The God Kings of the two major powers had appeared. The disciples of Xian sect were even more shocked. The two major forces had come together for Lu Ming. Lu Ming, what's the matter with you? In the base of Xian sect, Ouyang Qingxiang muttered. At the same time, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng and Hai and Lu Chong were also present, and they all looked worried. This time the God Kings of the two major factions had come. They knew that something major had definitely happened. Lu Ming is just a junior disciple of my Xian sect. What did he do to make the two of you come here? Xian sect's Divine King Wu Wei also asked curiously. There's no harm in telling you. The holy son of our Unique Devil Academy died in Lu Ming's hands in a secret battle. The God King of the Unique Devil Academy said coldly. The saint of the Inextinguishable Sword sect Jianxing was also killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming must pay with his life. The God King of the Indestructible Sword sect spoke with a sonorous voice. As soon as he said that, the base of Xian sect was in an uproar. Almost everyone from the Xian sect was dumbfounded. The two holy sons of the Indestructible Sword sect and the Unique Demon Academy were killed by Lu Ming? Really? That was a saint-level figure. Could Lu Ming kill a saint-level figure? Chapter 2827 God King taking action. Everyone from the Xian sect found it hard to believe. They were very clear about Lu Ming's abilities. Not long ago he could only compete with people on the true God ranking list. How could he kill people at the level of a saint, and two of them at that? How is that possible? Coincidentally, the Tianhong Saint Sun and the Transient Light Saint Sun were also resting in the Xian sect's base. They shook their heads in disbelief after hearing the news. Lu Ming could kill people at the level of a saint? They knew the Dark Battle Saint Sun of the Unique Devil Academy and the Sword Star Saint Sun of the Indestructible Sword sect. They were both very powerful and were not inferior to them at all. If Lu Ming could kill the Dark Warrior, wouldn't Jianxing be able to kill them too? Ouyang Xianxia, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng and Hai, and the others also looked at each other in disbelief. Even the Divine King of Xian sect Wu Wei was stunned. This matter was also out of his expectations. They finally understood why the two major factions had mobilized so many people, including the God Kings. The death of a saint was indeed a major event. I think you've misunderstood. Lu Ming is just a new disciple of Xian sect. How could he kill two of your saint children? Wu Wei said after sorting out his thoughts. If this isn't true, why would we come here? The God King of the Unique Devil Academy coldly said. That's right. Wu Wei, cut the crap and hand Lu Ming over. The God King of the Inextinguishable Sword sect was even more direct and overbearing. You two, this is the land of the ancient god. There are always risks when you take risks and fight outside. It's common for you to die. If Lu Ming really killed your two holy sons, it doesn't make sense for you to come to my Xian sect like this, does it? There have been many Xian sect members who died at the hands of the disciples of your two superpowers when we were out. Wu Wei's voice turned cold and he said unhappily. It was normal to die while adventuring and fighting outside. If one was afraid of dying outside, they might as well stay at home. Humph, Wu Wei, are you mocking the holy son of my Unique Demon Academy for being weak? The God King of the Unique Devil Academy's voice turned gloomy. A powerful aura emanated from his body as he said, if it was a normal battle, if my disciples were killed, I would not say anything. However, this time, it was your disciple Lu Ming who used despicable means to secretly harm the holy son of my unique demon academy. Besides that, there were also 8 first to 5th level heavenly gods. Does Lu Ming have the ability to do so? The God King of the unique Devil Academy loudly questioned. That's right. Lu Ming also used despicable means to harm the holy son of the Eternal Sword Sect and other experts. The God King from the Inextinguishable Sword Sect said. I see. It was actually an assassination. No wonder. Almost everyone in the Xian sect believed him. This was the only way it could be justified. In a head-on battle, Lu Ming had killed 2 of the enemy's holy sons. They were in disbelief. I see. The Tianhong Saint's son and the Transient Light Saint's son both heaved a sigh of relief. It turned out that Lu Ming had relied on an Hai to cause the death of the Dark Warrior. Jian Xing did not rely on his true abilities. They were relieved. This brat actually dared to harm the holy son of the Indestructible Sword Sect and the unique Demon Academy. This time I don't even need to do anything. He's dead for sure. When the Tianhong Saint's son and the Sacred Son of Reflection thought of this, they became happy. The divine king of Xian sect, Wu Wei, also fell silent. If that was the case, he really had no reason to stop her. Wei, hand Lu Ming over. We don't have time to waste. The God King of the Inextinguishable Sword Sect berated. Wu Wei frowned. He was also in a difficult position. Lu Ming was a prodigy of the Xian sect. Naturally, he was unwilling to hand him over to the other party. However, he was facing 2 God Kings. Even if he wanted to protect Lu Ming, he could not. You two have come at the wrong time. Lu Ming is not in the base of Xian sect. Even if I wanted to hand him over, I can't. Wu Wei's gaze shifted as he spoke. In fact, he did not know if Lu Ming was in the base. He had made up this reason and did not want to hand Lu Ming over. Whether it's there or not, I'll know once I search with my spiritual sense. The cold voice of the God King from the unique Devil Academy sounded. His spiritual sense burst out like a vast ocean and swept toward the base of the Xian sect. How can you search my Xian sect's base as you please? Wu Wei's face darkened. He unleashed his powerful spiritual consciousness and blocked the spiritual consciousness of the God King of the unique Devil Academy. Wei, you want to stop the 2 of us by yourself? In your dreams. Let me fight you. The God King of the Indestructible Sword Sect spoke. Following that, a sword cry shook the 9 heavens. A resplendent sword light suddenly appeared in the sky, towering between the heavens and earth. No one knew how long and how big it was, but it blocked out the sun as it slashed down towards the base of the Xian sect. Wu Wei's expression changed and his dazzling divine power burst out. He soared into the sky and turned into a rainbow light, rushing toward the huge sword light. Boom. It was as if the entire world was shaking and shaking. The might of a God King was so terrifying. This was also because the 2 of them had controlled their divine power so that it did not leak out. Otherwise, the shock caused would be even more shocking. The 2 of them exchanged a blow and faced each other in the sky, exuding a terrifying pressure. As such, Wu Wei no longer had the ability to stop the God Kings of the unique Demon Academy. The God King of the Yimo Academy coldly snorted. He took a step forward and appeared in the sky above the base of the Xian sect. He sent out his powerful spiritual consciousness, but after a while his expression slightly darkened. Lu Ming is indeed not here. The God King of the unique Devil Academy coldly said. Hearing this, Wu Wei felt relieved. Ouyang Xianxia, Yu Linglong and the others also heaved a sigh of relief. Although they did not see Lu Ming in the base, they were still afraid that Lu Ming might be in seclusion somewhere in the base. That would be dangerous. He's not here. The God King from the Indestructible Sword Sect's face also darkened. I know. Lu Ming is not at the Xian sect's base. He's most likely at the Ice Soul Clan's base. Lu Ming was very close to them. One of the geniuses from the unique Demon Academy shouted. This person was the one who had followed the dark battle earlier. He had seen that Lu Ming and Bing Qing were very close. The Ice Soul Clan. The God Kings of the Yimo Academy and the Indestructible Sword Sect narrowed their eyes slightly. The Ice Soul Clan was not a clan that the Xian sect could bully. The Ice Soul Clan was one of the 2 strongest clans in the Qintian Galaxy. They were even stronger than the Yimo Academy and the Indestructible Sword Sect. They could only be a match for the Ice Soul Clan if the 2 forces worked together. However, they were unwilling to give up just like that. The two of them looked at each other and saw the determination in each other's eyes. It's useless even if you hide in the Ice Soul clan. You must pay with your life for using such despicable means to harm the holy son of our unique demon academy. The God King of the unique Devil Academy coldly spoke. Let's go. We'll go to the Ice Soul clan to get him. Then he flew toward the Ice Soul clan. Lu Ming is here. The God King of the Yimo Academy led his men to attack the Ice Soul clan. At the same time, the God King of the Indestructible Sword sect also led his men to attack the Ice Soul clan. Let's go and take a look. Together. Everyone in the Zhou Xian sect was also very curious. They wanted to know the result of this battle, so they followed the Yimo Academy and the Immortal Sword sect to the Ice Soul clan. Lu Ming, I hope you're not in the Ice Soul clan. Ouyang Xianxia, Yu Linglong, and the others muttered and followed the crowd to the Ice Soul clan. Lu Ming, I hope you're in the Ice Soul clan. Cold glints flashed in the eyes of the Tianhong Saint Sun and the Transient Light Saint Sun. They both hoped that Lu Ming would be killed by the people from the Yimo Academy and the Immortal Sword sect in the Ice Soul clan. The group of people flew toward the Ice Soul clan. When they approached the Ice Soul clan's base, the base was alarmed and the sound of war drums could be heard. The dense crowd in the Ice Soul clan's base flew toward the city wall. It's the Inextinguishable Sword sect. There's also the Yimo Academy and the people from the Zhou Xian sect. What are these forces doing in our Ice Soul clan's base? Looks like they're here with ill intentions. Many members of the Ice Soul clan were whispering to each other. Oh no, the people from the Indestructible Sword sect and the Unique Devil Academy are really here. Hurry up and inform Brother Lu. Bing Qing's expression changed when she saw the people from the Indestructible Sword sect and the Unique Demon Academy. She flew toward a stone house in the Ice Soul clan's base. At the Yimo Academy, the people from the Immortal Sword sect stopped outside the base of the Ice Soul clan. Why have you two forces brought so many people to my Ice Soul clan? The Ice Soul clan's God King stepped out and came to the sky. His voice was cold. Brother Bing, we're here to ask your Ice Soul clan for a person. Is a kid named Lu Ming from the Zhou Xian sect in your Ice Soul clan? Said the God King of the Yimo Academy. However, he was much more polite when speaking to the God King of the Ice Soul clan. No comment, you can go. The Ice Soul clan's God King said coldly and domineeringly. Brother Bing, this man used despicable means to kill the saint children of our two sects and the other experts. We must take him down. Besides, our people saw that Lu Ming is very close to the Ice Soul clan. If he's really in the Ice Soul clan, you'd better hand him over, Brother Bing, so that we don't have to be enemies. The God King from the Inextinguishable Sword sect said. Hurt our relationship? So what if we're on bad terms? The Ice Soul clan's God King sneered. The expression of the God King from the Indestructible Sword sect was extremely ugly. He was already being very polite, but the other party didn't give him any face at all. Lu Ming must be in the Ice Soul clan. The third young master of the Ice Soul clan has returned. They've been together for a long time. One of the disciples from the Yimo Academy shouted and pointed at the third young master of the Ice Soul clan. Brother Bing, it seems that Lu Ming is really in your Ice Soul clan. I think you should hand him over. The God King of the Unique Devil Academy said. I've said it, I'm telling you, why aren't you guys leaving? Do you want to start a war with the Ice Soul clan? The Ice Soul clan's God King remained strong. The God Kings of the Unique Devil Academy and the Indestructible Sword sect had extremely ugly expressions. They looked at each other and a hint of determination flashed through their eyes. Today they had come with such a large force. If they were to retreat just because of a few rude words from the Ice Soul clan's God King, how would they be able to maintain their dignity? Moreover, the two forces combined were not afraid of the Ice Soul clan. Brother Bing, you have to understand a fact. This is the ancient God world, not the Qin Heaven Star region. Each of our forces only has one God King. The God King from the Indestructible Sword sect said coldly. Are you threatening me? The Ice Soul clan's God King's eyes narrowed, and a terrifying chill emanated from him. I'm not threatening you, I'm telling the truth. The God King of the Indestructible Sword sect spoke. He became more powerful as a sword light flickered on his body. A terrifying sword intent seemed to be about to explode at any moment. That's right, if Brother Bing really wants to be our enemy, then we can only spar with Brother Bing. The God King of the Yimo Academy also spoke coldly. His powerful aura was faintly discernible. The Ice Soul Clan's God King's expression turned ugly. He did not have any chance of winning against two God Kings. This time the various major factions could only send one God King. Without a doubt they were all God Kings with powerful combat strength, especially the God Kings from the Indestructible Sword Sect and the Unique Devil Academy. None of them were weaker than him. If they really wanted to make a move he couldn't stop them at all. As for those below the God King realm, the difference between them was too great and there was no possibility of comparison. Brother Bing, you'd better hand Lu Ming over to avoid hurting our relationship. The God King of the Indestructible Sword Sect's sword light grew stronger and stronger. The terrifying sword intent locked onto the Ice Soul Race's God King. Lu Ming, get your ass out here. At this moment, the God King of the Unique Demon Academy roared, shaking the entire Ice Soul Clan's base. Lu Ming had been cultivating in a stone house of the Ice Soul Clan and studying the stone fruit. The fruit was the size of a wash basin. It was round and covered with strange patterns. However, Lu Ming could not figure out the function of the fruit after studying it for a long time. They didn't know anything about the bone demon or the quantity formula. Lu Ming could only keep it and study it slowly in the future. At this moment Bing Qing rushed in. Brother Lu, this is bad. The people from the Indestructible Sword Sect and the Unique Devil Academy have indeed come. Even the God Kings have personally come. Bing Qing said. Even the God King has come. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He had not expected the other party to mobilize such a large force. Even the God Kings stationed at the base had been mobilized. But don't worry. Even if their godly king comes, my Ice Soul Clan's godly king won't hand you over. Bing Qing said firmly. Lu Ming, get your ass out here. At this moment an explosive roar came from afar, shaking the entire base. Bing Qing and Lu Ming's expressions changed. It seems like the other party is very strong. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming, get the hell out here. You're not leaving today. That voice rang out again. Lu Ming, you can't go out. Our race's God King will stop them, Bing Qing quickly said. It's hard to say. It seems like the other party is very powerful. Furthermore, if the two God Kings from the Yimo Academy and the Indestructible Sword Sect were to join forces, even the God Kings from the aristocratic families would find it difficult to stop them. If it's a blessing, it's not a disaster. If it's a disaster, we can't avoid it. In that case, let's go out and take a look. Lu Ming was a decisive person. With that, he flew out in large strides. Bing Qing followed behind Lu Ming anxiously. Very soon Lu Ming flew to the wall of the Ice Soul Clan's base. That's Lu Ming. Lu Ming is here. A disciple of the Unique Demon Academy pointed at Lu Ming and shouted. Everyone's gaze was on Lu Ming. There was ferocity, curiosity, killing intent and worry. Oh no, Lu Ming is really in the Ice Soul Clan. Ouyang Qingxiang and the others were extremely worried. The Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun and the others were ecstatic. Chapter 2828 Wave of Demons. Seeing that Lu Ming had really appeared, the Tianhong Saint Sun, the Transient Light Saint Sun, and the others were overjoyed. Today the God Kings of the Indestructible Sword Sect and the Unique Demon Academy were extremely powerful. They did not even show respect to the Ice Soul Clan. Lu Ming was doomed. It seems that this kid is indeed here. Get over here. The God King of the Unique Devil Academy shouted coldly and raised his palm. A powerful suction force erupted from his palm and sucked Lu Ming in, trying to pull him over. The Ice Soul Clan's God King coldly snorted. He took a step in the air and a terrifying chill burst forth, shattering the Unique Devil Academy's God King's attractive force. Brother Bing, are you determined to fight us? The God King of the Unique Devil Academy said with a cold expression. So what if I fight? The Ice Soul Clan's God King said forcefully. If you want to fight, then I will fight with you. I'm just afraid that you can't stop us alone. The God King of the Unique Devil Academy roared in anger, and an extremely violent power erupted from his body. Everyone in the world felt a powerful pressure. At the same time, a terrifying sword intent exploded from the Inextinguishable Sword Sect God King's body. It pressed down on the Ice Soul Race God King, forcing him to retreat slightly. Ha! At this moment Lu Ming suddenly burst out laughing. Kid, what are you laughing at? The God King of the Unique Devil Academy cast a cold glance at Lu Ming. Two God Kings, you've mobilized so many experts to capture me, a junior. It's truly a great honor. That's why I'm laughing. Also, I'm curious. Why are the two of you here to capture me? Lu Ming said loudly. You used despicable means to harm the saints of our two sections. Can't we take you down? The God King of the Unique Devil Academy said. Despicable means? Assassination? How laughable, how laughable. Lu Ming laughed and said, Secret battle and Jianxing brought a group of experts to hunt me down. However, they were too arrogant. I made use of the terrain and controlled a large formation to trap and kill them. You call this despicable? You call this a trap? Must I rely on brute force to fight for treasures outside? I can't rely on intelligence. Lu Ming asked continuously. Nonsense. The God King of the Unique Devil Academy coldly shouted. What nonsense is he spouting? Just directly take it down. The God King of the Indestructible Sword Sect said coldly. He was about to step out to capture Lu Ming. However, at this moment, a powerful presence appeared in the sky. It locked onto the God King of the Indestructible Sword Sect. Wei, are you going to interfere too? The God King of the Inextinguishable Sword Sect looked up with a cold expression. Nonsense. Lu Ming is a disciple of Kong Xian sect. How can we let you take him away as you please? Wu Wei stepped down, his divine power boiling as he locked onto the divine king of the Inextinguishable Sword Sect. Previously he was alone and it was naturally difficult to stop the other party. However, with the help of the Ice Soul Clan's God King he had nothing to fear. Lu Ming has already said that he was being hunted down first. Then he controlled a large array to trap and kill the two of you. This is all based on intelligence. How is it despicable and backstabbing? People can't even use arrays, why do they cultivate them? Wu Wei responded sarcastically. In the Yimo Academy, the expression of the God King from the Indestructible Sword Sect turned ugly. With Wu Wei's arrival and his cooperation with the Ice Soul Clan's Divine King, they would not gain any advantage at all. Who? Ouyang Xianxiang, Yu Linglong and the rest heaved a sigh of relief. With Wu Wei's help, Lu Ming was safe and they were relieved. Damn it, why is this kid's luck so good? The Tianhong Saint's son, the sacred son of reflection, and the others were very unhappy. Please leave. The Ice Soul Clan doesn't welcome you. The Ice Soul Clan's God King waved his hand. This is the business of the Qin Heaven 13 clans. Your Ice Soul Clan is too nosy. Since that's the case, my Scarlet Flame Clan will play with you. At this moment, a deep voice came from the distance. Just as the voice faded, a figure suddenly appeared in the sky. It was a burly middle-aged man with scarlet skin and a terrifyingly high temperature. The Red Flame tribe. Moreover, he was the God King of the Red Flame race. The Ice Soul Clan's God King's expression turned ugly. Wu Wei's face darkened. Meanwhile, the God King of the Indestructible Sword Sect from the Unique Demon Academy was delighted. The Scarlet Flame Clan and the Ice Soul Clan were mortal enemies. The Divine King of the Scarlet Flame Clan would never help the Ice Soul Clan. He'll block this guy from the Ice Soul Clan for you. If you want to take him, then take him quickly. The God King of the Scarlet Flame race sneered and a scorching aura spread toward the God King of the Ice Soul race. This is bad. At that moment not only Wu Wei but the Ice Soul race's Divine King's expression changed. Bing Qing, Ouyang Qingxiang, Yu Linglong and the others' expressions changed drastically. Initially Lu Ming was already safe. He did not expect that at the critical moment, a Scarlet Flame tribe God King would suddenly appear and break the stalemate. This caused the power of both sides to tilt again. This kid is destined to die here. The Tianhong Saint's son, the Transient Light Saint's son, and the others laughed wildly in their hearts. They were so happy that they could die. Wei, let's see how you're going to block it. The Divine King of the Indestructible Sword Sect released a powerful aura and locked Wu Wei in place. The God Kings of the Unique Devil Academy were also preparing to take action. A great battle was about to begin. Let's go all out. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and decided to burn the ancient god heart. He knew that with his cultivation, even if he burned his ancient god's heart, his fighting power would still be a far cry from that of a god king. It was impossible for him to block a god king. However, it was not his style to sit and wait for death. Even if he had to die, he had to fight. Roar. Just at this critical moment, a roar suddenly came from afar. In the next moment the roars became more and more numerous, layer after layer, wave after wave like a terrifying wave. What's going on? Many people's expressions changed. Roar, roar, roar. The roars were endless. The sky was shaking, the earth was shaking, and there were loud rumbles. In the distance, a group of people flew over in panic. They were all from the Ice Soul clan. It was obvious that these people had been out adventuring and had all flown back in a sorry state. Not good, not good, a beast tide, no, a demonic beast tide has erupted. Quickly enter the city. The Ice Soul clan members cried out in fear. What? A wave of demons? Many people were shocked. The few god kings in particular had extremely sharp eyes. They could already see countless demons charging over from the distance. There were so many of them that they were uncountable and endless. Among them there were many terrifying demons. There were countless heavenly god-level demons. So many Yaoma. Even the expressions of the few god kings changed. At this moment, the god kings of the unique demon academy, the Immortal Sword sect, the Xianxia sect, and the Scarlet Flame race all received the news at the same time. Outside their base, countless magical beasts were discovered and they were attacking their base. Chapter 2831 Strange Creature. Countless demons and devils rushed over from the various bases. The few god kings could no longer remain calm. There were still many disciples in their base. If the demons broke through, it would be a huge loss. Damn it, go back to the base. The god king of the unique devil academy roared. At this moment he could not be bothered to take down Lu Ming. On Lu Ming's side there was Wu Wei and the Ice Soul race's god king. Even if they included the Scarlet Flame race's god king, there were 3 of them. If Wu Wei and the Ice Soul race's god king were to stop them with all their might, they would not be able to take down Lu Ming in a short time. If that was the case, their base would be in danger. Let's go. The god king of the Eternal Sword sect roared in anger. Even though he was unwilling, he could only return to the base first. In the Yimo Academy, the god king of the Indestructible Sword sect led the experts of the 2 sects and flew toward their respective bases. In the blink of an eye they disappeared. Come, let's go back too. Run. Wu Wei shouted. A large number of demons appeared outside the base of the Xianxia sect. He led the people of the Xianxia sect and rushed back to the base. The god king of the Scarlet Flame race, on the other hand, disappeared without a trace. Only the Ice Soul clan was left. Lu Ming did not return to Xianxia sect. He planned to stay in the Ice Soul clan for the time being. The Ice Soul clan members outside rushed into the Ice Soul clan's base. Pay attention to the defense. The Ice Soul clan's god king ordered loudly. Buzz. Whoosh. Dense runes appeared on the wall of the Ice Soul clan's base, and a defensive formation emerged. Roar, roar, roar. The roars became more and more intense, like a group of demons dancing chaotically, tens of thousands of demons roaring in unison. The scene was shocking. Boom, boom, boom. Countless demons and devils were either running on the ground or flying in the sky, rushing over. So many. When the Ice Soul clan saw this, their expressions changed drastically. Lu Ming's expression turned grave. There were too many demons, and the number of powerful demons inside was also shocking. It would be difficult for the Ice Soul clan to stop so many demons with their current manpower. Fortunately, they had a God King expert and a God King to guard them, so they were as safe as a fortress. The Ice Soul clan's Divine King was not in the array. He was standing outside the base. Ice Sealing World. The Ice Soul clan's God King shouted coldly. A terrifying chill emanated from his body as he struck out with his palm. A terrifying cold wave spread towards the group of demons. Instantly, the ground and the sky were completely frozen. Endless ice appeared and countless demons were frozen into ice. Regardless of whether they were true God Realm or Heavenly God Realm demons, they were all frozen into ice. Bang! Bang! The demons flying in the sky fell to the ground and shattered into pieces after they were frozen into ice. At least tens of thousands of demons were killed in an instant. What a terrifying strength. Is this the strength of a God King? Lu Ming was extremely shocked. His current combat strength was already considered not bad. He could easily kill an ordinary first-level celestial deity. He could even fight a second-level celestial deity. And Xianxia was even in existence that could easily kill a third-level celestial deity. However, compared to a God King, he was much weaker. Ignorant and ignorant, ignorant and ignorant. What is this? Back then I saw with my own eyes how an expert controlled the ancient word ice and froze a river of stars in one move. That's what I call amazing. The disdainful voice of the quantity formula sounded. Freezing a galaxy with one move? You're bragging. Lu Ming did not believe it at all. A galaxy was extremely vast, boundless, and had an infinite distance. How was it possible to freeze an entire galaxy with one move? Was there such a powerful existence in this world? Lu Ming would not believe it even if he was beaten to death. He thought that the quantity formula was bragging. That's why I say you're ignorant. The quantity formula said disdainfully. All right. The Ice Soul clan cheered loudly. The God King had killed tens of thousands of demons with a single strike. They could finally relax. With the God King here, he alone could stop the demons. No matter how many demons there were, he was not afraid. However, no one noticed that the Ice Soul clan's God King's expression had turned grave as he looked into the distance. Outsiders kill. A roar came from the sky in the distance. This roar caused the entire world to shake. In the Ice Soul clan's base, some of the weaker cultivators were still trembling violently despite the protection of the formation. They spat out a mouthful of blood and their faces turned pale. Everyone saw a figure appear at the end of the world. It was a human-shaped living being. Looked very similar to humans, but it was 100 meters tall. Its body was covered in a layer of orange scales, and it held a huge wolf-tooth club in its hand. Boom, boom, boom. This creature was running in the void at an extremely fast speed. Every step it took caused the void to shake. This is a God King. It's the God King. Many people exclaimed. The aura of this living being was too terrifying. It was clearly a divine king. The living being charged at the Ice Soul race's God King. Kill. The Ice Soul clan's God King shouted and charged at his opponent. Boom. The two sides clashed and half of the sky was covered in ice. Bang. Bang. The creature and the Ice Soul clan's divine king were both pushed back. This move was evenly matched. How can he be so strong? Many of the Ice Soul clan's members were shocked. It should be known that the God Kings of the various forces that entered the ancient God world this time were all outstanding figures among the God Kings. They were existences with extremely powerful battle prowess and could easily suppress God Kings of the same level. However, that creature was able to fight against the Ice Soul race's God King. Could it be that his level was much higher than the Ice Soul race's God King? Kill. Kill. The creature and the Ice Soul race's God King shouted at the same time and started fighting again. The two of them fought fiercely in the sky. The void was shaking as if two stars were colliding. It was difficult to determine the winner in a short time. Roar. 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 The demons, on the other hand, were rushing toward the Ice Soul clan's base. These demons had different appearances, and their bodies were filled with demonic chi and fiendish chi, which made people's hearts palpitate. Attack and kill these demons. Someone roared. Whoosh. 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 In the Ice Soul clan's base, the Ice Soul clan's experts made their move. One attack after another flew out. The temperature of the area began to drop rapidly. On the ground and in the sky, ice kept appearing. Many demons were frozen in ice. However, there were too many of them. Some of the more powerful demons shook their bodies and the ice on their bodies was shaken off. Some demons were killed, but more demons rushed over and attacked the array of the Ice Soul clan's base. Boom. Boom. The formation began to shake violently. The Ice Soul clan's base was only a temporary one. The formation was also a temporary one, so its power was naturally limited. Could not withstand the endless attacks of the demons. The formation kept shaking as if it was going to collapse at any moment. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2831 Escape. Kill. Block it. The Ice Soul clan roared and attacked with all their might. However, they were too few in number compared to the demons and it was difficult to stop them all. Roar. A demonic ape over 1,000 meters tall rushed over from the distance and punched the array. Boom. The formation shook violently and cracks appeared on it. Terrifying. The demonic ape's strength was extremely terrifying. It had probably reached the peak of the heavenly god realm. In fact, there was more than one peak heavenly god among the demons. Although there were peak divine realm experts in the Ice Soul clan, they were not as many as the demons. Boom. On the other side, a giant bird was covered in demonic chi. Its wingspan was a few thousand meters wide. It opened its mouth and spat out a black lightning bolt which bombarded the array. The formation couldn't take it anymore. It kept breaking and then exploding. Roar. The demonic ape roared. It stomped on the ground and soared into the sky. Then its huge body looked down from above and charged towards the Ice Soul clan's base. Boom. In an instant, at least a dozen masters of the Ice Soul clan were killed by the monster ape. In the end, the monster ape crashed heavily on the base. The entire base exploded, gravel flew everywhere and dust filled the air. At the same time, the other terrifying demons also launched their attacks. The scene was filled with screams and blood. The Ice Soul clan was at a complete disadvantage and was no match for them. Lu Ming killed a 9th-tier true god fiend with one shot. Then he dodged the attack of a heavenly god-level fiend with a flash. These demons would find their opponents based on their aura. The powerful demons would find the powerful experts while the weak demons would find the weak. Lu Ming's cultivation was at the 5th stage of true god realm. Hence, many true god-level demons and demons charged towards him. However, as Lu Ming killed more and more demons, the stronger demons also had their eyes on him. There were already heavenly god-level demons that were charging at him. Lu Ming's pressure was increasing. We can't continue like this. There are too many Yaoma. As Lu Ming fought, he was thinking of countermeasures. Charge out. Spread out. Charge out. Run for your lives. The Ice Soul clan's God King roared. This was the only way. Otherwise, all the Ice Soul clan members would die. Only by splitting up and charging out would many people have a chance of survival. Now they could only try to escape. Charge. Charge out. Immediately, the Ice Soul clan members charged in all directions. Some were in groups of 3 to 5, some in groups of 2 to 3, and some alone. Kiss. The scene was in a mess. Lu Ming discovered that demons and devils were everywhere. It was a chaotic battle. At this moment he didn't know where Bing Qing and the others were or if they were still alive. Charge. At this moment he could not be bothered with others. Lu Ming randomly chose a direction and dashed in it at full speed. The 9 ice chains danced in the air. Lu Ming exerted all his strength and cast the 9 heavenly Kun Ping technique. His figure flashed continuously as he charged forward. Fortunately, the cultivation he revealed was only at the 5th stage of True God realm. Those truly terrifying demons didn't target him, so his pressure wasn't too great. After a series of attacks, Lu Ming actually broke out of the tight encirclement and then ran wildly forward. However, there was still a large group of demons that had their eyes on him. They roared and chased after Lu Ming. It was the same in other directions. Many members of the Ice Soul clan broke out of the encirclement and fled into the vast mountains. A large group of demons were chasing them. In fact, it was not only the Ice Soul clan's base. There were also other bases such as the Red Flame clan, the Immortal Sword sect, the Boundless Holy Land, the Yimo Academy, the Kong Shen sect, and so on. The bases of the 15 powerful forces were all attacked. All their bases were broken into. Like the Ice Soul clan, everyone split up to attack, run, and escape into the mountains. Roar. Roar. Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kun Ping technique and flew at high speed through the forest. However, there were at least a few dozen fiendish demons in hot pursuit of him. Most of these demons were actually at the heavenly god realm. Some of them were so terrifying that Lu Ming did not dare to stop and fight. This was because once they stopped, they would attract even more demons. Fortunately, Lu Ming was fast enough that the demons could not catch up with him. Lu Ming did not know where he was going. He only remembered that he was heading towards the depths of the world of ancient gods. After running for 3 days, he finally lost the demons that were chasing him. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief. Then he found a place and sat cross-legged, channeling and regulating his breathing. After a few hours, Lu Ming's energy had recovered to its peak. I wonder how Ouyang Xianxia, Yu Linglong, Wu Zifeng and the others are doing? Lu Ming was a little worried. However, with the current chaos, he had the will but not the strength. He could only depend on his own luck. Roar. Roar. In the distance, roars could be heard. Demons and devils whizzed past, chasing after the others. Lu Ming retracted his aura and continued to move forward. Now the rear had become extremely unsafe. This was because there were a large number of demons as well as terrifying god kings that were 100 meters tall and covered in orange scales. If one were to be touched by those creatures, one would probably be killed with a single slap. In the next few days, Lu Ming shuttled through the barbaric mountains. From time to time, Lu Ming would be hunted down by fiendish demons. Fortunately, Lu Ming did not encounter any fiendish demons that were too terrifying. Furthermore, he had Qiuqiu's help. As long as he did not encounter any fiendish demons at the 4th level celestial deity realm or above, Lu Ming had no worries about protecting himself. In this way, Lu Ming had no idea how far he had run. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, there was a violent explosion in front of them as well as the roars of demons. It was obvious that someone was fighting with the demons. I wonder who it will be. Let's go take a look. Lu Ming concealed his aura and carefully made his way to the battlefield. Lu Ming was afraid that if it was an acquaintance he could still lend a hand. If it was an enemy he could not be bothered. Not long after, Lu Ming climbed up a mountain peak that was not very high. He hid himself with the help of the trees and looked ahead. There was an open space in front of them and some people were fighting. Lu Ming took a look and his eyes narrowed slightly. There were demons in the war and the Red Flame tribe was fighting with the demons. What surprised Lu Ming the most were the other few figures. These figures, together with the demons, attacked the Scarlet Flame tribe. These figures were in human form but they were all around 10 meters tall. Furthermore, their bodies were covered in scales, and they looked extremely similar to the 100-meter-tall God King from before. The only difference was that the creatures here were much shorter and had red scales instead of orange. What kind of race is this? There's no demonic aura on his body. He's not a demon. Wait, that's the aura of an ancient god. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes widened and he looked shocked. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2832 Mistaken. Lu Ming was shocked. He could sense the aura of an ancient god from the creatures that were more than 10 meters tall and covered in red scales. Lu Ming had the ancient god's heart and was very sensitive to the aura of ancient gods. He would not be wrong. What's going on? Could it be that this kind of living being was also a descendant of an ancient god? It said that the ancient gods have huge bodies that can support the heavens and the earth. This kind of creature is also so tall, so maybe they really are the descendants of the ancient gods. Their bloodline is even thicker than the descendants of the ancient gods on the ancient god star. Many thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind. The battle ahead was very intense. The few tall creatures and the demons had the upper hand, forcing the Scarlet Flame tribe to retreat. Naturally, Lu Ming did not plan to attack. The divine king of the Scarlet Flame tribe wanted to kill him. He could not wait for the Scarlet Flame tribe to be killed. Lu Ming retreated quietly and left the place. A few hours later, Lu Ming arrived at a valley. He was planning to enter the valley and find a place to rest. But suddenly a few figures flashed in the valley. Lu Ming. As soon as these figures saw Lu Ming, they burst out with cold killing intent. The people from the unique Devil Academy are really unlucky. Lu Ming frowned and turned to leave. You want to leave? Die. You killed the Dark Battle Saint and you still want to leave? Kill. A few experts from the unique Demon Academy roared and charged toward Lu Ming. The few of them were very fast as they approached Lu Ming. What a strong cultivation. Lu Ming's expression changed. These few people were all Celestial Deity Realm experts. 2 of them had at least a 4th-level Celestial Deity cultivation. Lu Ming could not fight against such a cultivation. Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique and circulated his divine power. A huge Kuan Ping formed outside his body. It flapped its wings and flew forward at high speed. However, the few experts from the unique Devil Academy were astonishingly fast. Even if Lu Ming used the 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique, he was still slower than them. The distance between the two sides was closing. Kill, die. One of the black-robed elders shouted coldly as he slashed his saber at Lu Ming. The saber radiance cut across thousands of miles and headed straight for Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression changed. The 9-layered crimson gold armor appeared. At the same time, he cast the divine dragon materialization art. A 9-clawed divine dragon pounced at his opponent. Bang! The divine dragon phenomenon was the first to be cut in half by the saber beam. The saber beam did not stop and continued to slash at Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! The 9 ice chains shattered continuously and the saber light slashed at Lu Ming's body. At the critical moment, Xiao wriggled and turned into an armor that covered Lu Ming's body. It formed a double protection with the 9-layered crimson gold armor. Even so, Lu Ming was still sent flying by the saber and crashed into a few huge ancient trees. Lu Ming spat out a mouthful of blood, but he did not dare to stay any longer. His body swayed and he flew forward again. The other party's strength had exceeded his imagination. It was at least a 5th-level celestial deity existence much stronger than him. Even if it was Xiao, if it wasn't for Xiao's protection earlier, that blade would have probably killed him. Kid, you actually have a metallic life form protecting you, but how many times can a metallic life form block my saber strikes? The black-robed elder shouted coldly. He turned into a ray of saber light and continued to pursue Lu Ming. There was another person who was traveling at the same speed as the black-robed old man. He was obviously an expert of the same level. Lu Ming was in danger. However, at this moment a few roars were heard. A demonic aura filled the air. A few huge demons swooped down from the sky, their sharp eyes staring at Lu Ming and the rest. Roar! Roar! The auras from the few people from the unique Devil Academy were too strong. A few powerful demons had their eyes on the few experts from the unique Devil Academy and pounced on them. They had completely ignored Lu Ming. The heavens are helping me. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He increased his speed and rushed forward. He heard the angry roars of the few people from the unique Devil Academy behind him. The few people from the unique Demon Academy were extremely aggrieved. They were about to capture Lu Ming, but a few demons appeared halfway and blocked them. They could only watch as Lu Ming left. Lu Ming did not stop. He flew all the way and carefully avoided some demons along the way. He had flown about 100,000 miles. Boom! All of a sudden a strong wind whistled. A huge figure descended from the sky and landed in front of Lu Ming. It stomped on the ground, causing a violent boom and blasting a huge pit in the ground. It was a huge creature more than 30 meters tall. Its body was covered with red scales and its muscles were like a dragon. It looked very powerful. Lu Ming's pupils constricted. He retreated quickly and was on full alert. However, this living being did not attack Lu Ming. Instead, it sized Lu Ming up curiously and said in a deep voice, "Kid, which tribe are you from? You're only at stage 5 True God Realm, but you're running around. Do you know that outsiders have arrived and are wantonly destroying our living environment? It's very dangerous now." The huge creature spoke in the same language as Lu Ming and the rest. Ah! Lu Ming was stunned and somewhat confused. What was the meaning of this living being? From his tone, he seemed to treat Lu Ming as one of his kind. Could it be because of the ancient god's heart? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He had condensed the ancient god's heart, and his body was emitting a strong ancient god aura. This living being was also emitting a strong ancient god aura. It was possible that he was of the same race. However, their body sizes were too different. However, at this moment something happened that made Lu Ming's eyes widen. The huge creature's body shrank rapidly and the scales on its body disappeared. Soon, an ordinary middle-aged man about 2 meters tall appeared before Lu Ming. Seemed like he was no different from an ordinary human. Could this be his true body? Did he just use some kind of secret technique to have such a huge body? Lu Ming could not help but guess. "Little guy, what are you doing? I'm asking you a question." The middle-aged man asked. He doesn't come from any tribe." Lu Ming answered. He was completely clueless about the situation here, so he could only make things up. "Not from any tribe? Could it be that you're a descendant of an ascetic?" The middle-aged man's eyes widened as he asked in surprise. "Yes, I am the descendant of the ascetics." Lu Ming quickly nodded. At the same time, he stared at the other party cautiously. Once the situation was not right, he would immediately escape. "You really are the descendant of the ascetics. I've only heard of the ascetics before, but I've never seen one. No wonder you dare to run around by yourself. However, times are different now. Now that outsiders have arrived, this area will become very dangerous. I think you should follow me for the time being so that we can take care of each other." The middle-aged man smiled and his eyes were very gentle. It seemed that he really regarded Lu Ming as one of his own. Chapter 2833 Meeting Another Ancient God Descendant. Alright, then he'll have to trouble Senior. Lu Ming pondered for a while and nodded in agreement. It would be more beneficial to follow him now. It could be said that Lu Ming was surrounded by enemies now, such as the Yimo Academy, the Immortal Sword Sect, the Scarlet Flame Tribe, and so on. Moreover, he had to avoid demons. If he followed the middle-aged man, at least he would not have to worry about demons. Furthermore, even if he encountered the people from the unique Devil Academy or the Immortal Sword Sect, he would have helpers. Gu Hongshan, what's your name? The middle-aged man said. My name is Lu Ming. Lu Ming answered. Lu. My clan actually has such a surname? However, you ascetics are a bunch of perverts, so it's normal for you to use a different surname. Gu Hongshan mumbled a few words and did not think much about it. Lu Ming was relieved. Senior, what's the situation with the outsiders? How's the situation now? Lu Ming pretended to ask, wanting to know some information. The outsiders are people from beyond the heavens. As soon as they entered, they destroyed our living environment and plundered the heavenly resources here. They even killed many of my clansmen. So this time, the various tribes of my clan have joined forces and sent out a large number of experts. There are even god kings. They've joined forces with the monster demon clan to attack the outsiders. However, there are also many experts among the outsiders. Although we killed a group of them, most of them ran away in batches. They are now hunting each other in the barbaric mountains with our race. Gu Hongshan explained. Lu Ming nodded. He could roughly understand. The other party was treating them as invaders, which was why they launched an attack on them. This was also very normal. When faced with an invasion, it was natural to launch a counterattack. We ancient god descendants have lived in this world since ancient times, standing aloof from worldly affairs. I didn't expect an outsider to descend this time. For our race, this could very well be a disaster. The ancient god race's elder said. Gu Hongshan sighed. The descendants of the ancient gods. They are indeed the descendants of the ancient gods. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. These people were also descendants of the ancient gods. What was their relationship with the ancient gods on the ancient gods mountain? Lu Ming, let's go. Not far away, my clan is attacking a few outsiders. I'm rushing over to help. Come with me. Gu Hongshan said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Then he and Gu Hongshan rushed in a direction. Gu Hongshan's cultivation was very high and his speed was naturally shocking. He was afraid that Lu Ming could not keep up with him and deliberately slowed down. However, when he turned around, Lu Ming was still following him. He increased his speed and Lu Ming could keep up. Haha, as expected of the descendant of the ascetics. Amazing, amazing. Gu Hongshan laughed. Lu Ming smiled and did not say much. Soon they had passed through tens of thousands of miles of forest. Buzz. Whoosh. In front of him, the sound of swords clashing reverberated continuously, and rays of sword light shot up into the sky. They were from the Immortal Sword Sect. At this moment, a few experts from the Eternal Sword Sect were fighting with a few tall ancient god descendants. These descendants of the ancient gods were all tall, ranging from 10 to 20 meters tall. They were all covered in red scales. They were extremely strong and powerful, forcing the few experts of the Eternal Sword Sect to retreat. Lu Ming, you stay here and watch. I'll go kill those outsiders. Gu Hongshan said to Lu Ming. Be careful, senior. Lu Ming reminded. Haha, don't worry. I don't care about these few outsiders. Gu Hongshan laughed and took a step forward. In the process of charging out, his body rapidly expanded. In an instant, he turned into a giant that was more than 30 meters tall and covered in red scales. Not good. A few experts from the Eternal Sword Sect turned pale when they saw Gu Hongshan. Outsider, die. Gu Hongshan rushed over and threw out a punch. Boom. The void seemed like it was about to explode and there was a terrifying vibration. Gu Hongshan's punch had destroyed the sword light of an expert from the Eternal Sword Sect and landed on his body. The expert from the Eternal Sword Sect let out a blood-curdling screech as his body was sent flying. He exploded in midair, his flesh and blood splattering everywhere. So strong. That expert from the Eternal Sword Sect was at least at the 5th level Heavenly God realm, but he was blown up by Gu Hongshan with a single punch. Boom. Boom. Gu Hongshan was incomparably ferocious. He continuously punched out, and the remaining experts of the Eternal Sword Sect were all blown up by Gu Hongshan. Ha, Gu Hongshan, you've come at the right time, but even if you didn't come, we could have dealt with these outsiders. The other giants laughed and quickly transformed into the size of normal people. The two burly men and the two burly elders were no different from normal people. Other than the thick ancient god aura on his body, Gu Hongshan had also returned to his normal size. I met a little brother on the way. Otherwise I would have come earlier. Come, let me introduce you to someone. He is the descendant of the ascetics. Gu Hongshan said. What? The descendants of the ascetics? I've never seen an ascetic before. Where's he? The rest of them scanned their surroundings and looked in Lu Ming's direction. They could sense his aura. Lu Ming took a step forward. Such dense ancient god energy. A few descendants of the ancient gods sized Lu Ming up, their eyes filled with surprise. Come, let me introduce you. This is Lu Ming. Lu Ming, this is Gu Yu. Gu Hongshan introduced them to each other and Lu Ming greeted them politely. Lu Ming, I can sense a dense ancient god aura in your body. Could it be that you've already condensed the ancient god's heart? One of the elders sized Lu Ming up carefully and said in shock. What? The heart of the ancient god? Gu Hongshan and the rest were shocked. They looked at Lu Ming in shock. Yes, I have indeed condensed the ancient god's heart. Lu Ming nodded. He immediately controlled the ancient god's heart and made it beat faster. A red light was emitted from his chest as if a heart had emerged. A rich ancient god aura filled the air. Ancient god's heart, it's really the ancient god's heart. Genius, genius. He's truly a peerless genius. Gu Hongshan and the others muttered to themselves. Brother Gu Hongshan, is the heart of the ancient god rare? Lu Ming asked in surprise. Of course it's rare. You're an ascetic, so you might not know much. In my clan, the thickness of the ancient god bloodline determines the strength of one's talent. The thicker the ancient god bloodline, the stronger one's talent. Only when the ancient god bloodline is extremely dense will the ancient god heart be born. Let's put it this way, it is extremely rare for an ancient god heart to be born in our clan. Every one of them is an unparalleled genius. Their future achievements are limitless. Gu Hongshan explained. Chapter 2834 Killing with a Borrowed Knife. I see. Lu Ming nodded. He could tell that the cultivation of the descendants of the ancient gods focused on the divine body and divine power as secondary. All of them had astonishing strength. The ancient god's heart could continuously improve the divine body. It was normal for him to be a peerless genius among the descendants of the ancient gods. Lu Ming, I don't think you've cultivated the ancient god tactic and have yet to awaken your ancient god body, right? The old man Gu Yuan sized Lu Ming up and continued. Ancient god tactic? Ancient god body? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He was rather curious. He pondered for a moment and shook his head. No, I didn't. It's normal that you haven't awakened the ancient god body. After all, to awaken the ancient god body, you have to enter the blood pool and absorb the energy of the blood pool. You're the descendant of an ascetic. Where did you get the blood pool? Gu Hongshan laughed. That's right. Once the ancient god body awakens after the ancient god heart is formed, it'll be terrifying. At the very least, I'll be an orange-armored ancient god body. It's not impossible for him to even awaken the yellow-armored ancient god body. I'm really looking forward to it. The others also discussed animatedly, revealing envious expressions. Yellow-armored ancient god body? An orange-armored ancient god body? Lu Ming had more doubts in his heart. Lu Ming, come back to the 8th tribe with us. The tribe is preparing to send a group of people into the blood pool soon. You can go with them and awaken your ancient god body. That way your strength will increase again. Gu Hongshan said. Ancient god body? Was it the gigantic body that they had transformed into? The increase in power is truly astonishing. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart was burning. He had also seen that when Gu Hongshan and the others turned into that giant form, their combat strength was indeed very powerful. Be it his strength or defense, they had improved a lot. If Lu Ming could cultivate this secret skill, his combat strength would also increase sharply. Kid, agree to their request. Quickly agree to their request. This is a great opportunity for you. Bone shouted in his sea of consciousness. And good. In any case, I've been wandering outside for many years. I was just looking for a tribe to rest for a while. Lu Ming nodded. Gu Hongshan and the rest were overjoyed. Lu Ming was so talented. If he could join their 8th tribe, it would mean that the 8th tribe would have another unparalleled genius. They were naturally overjoyed. All right, let's return to the tribe first. Gu Hongshan said. Big brother Hongshan, please hold on. I have a matter that I would like to ask for your help with. Lu Ming suddenly said. What is it? Gu Hongshan asked. I was chased by a group of outsiders and almost died at their hands. I have to take revenge. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a cold glint. He wanted to make use of the descendants of the ancient gods to get rid of the experts from the unique Devil Academy who were chasing after him. Lu Ming was not the kind of person who would not take revenge. Since there was a grudge, he would immediately take revenge as long as he had the chance. An outsider? Where is he? Gu Hongshan, Gu Yuan and the others also revealed a cold light in their eyes. It's in a valley a few 100,000 miles away. But I'm afraid we're not enough. Lu Ming said. Previously, Lu Ming had sensed that there should be many experts from the unique Demon Academy gathered in the valley. Those who had chased after him previously were only a small portion. That's easy. Well, contact some of our clansmen and wipe them out. Gu Hongshan said. Then they took out a strange stone. It was similar to the voice transmission jade talismans outside, but it looked much older. They spread the news and then waited quietly. Not long after, many figures flashed over. They were all from the 8th tribe of the ancient god descendants. It didn't take long for a group of ancient god descendants to gather here. There were more than 30 of them. Gu Hongshan introduced Lu Ming and everyone was shocked. Everyone follow me, Lu Ming said. Then he brought Gu Hongshan and the rest to the valley where the unique Devil Academy had gathered. That valley was very well hidden. If one did not search carefully, it would not be easy to find it. Previously, Lu Ming had come here by accident. They stopped not far from the valley. At the entrance of the valley, there was indeed a figure that flashed by. It was obvious that the people from the unique Devil Academy were still here. Furthermore, they had sent people to be on guard. Let's just kill our way over. Gu Hongshan said maliciously. You can't. Lu Ming stopped him. We don't know how many people they have. It'll be dangerous for us to attack them directly. Moreover, they have people on guard. If we attack them directly and they escape immediately, I'm afraid we can't catch them all in one fell swoop. Brother Lu Ming, do you have any good ideas? Gu Hongshan said. We'll go lure them here. They tried to kill me before but failed. Now that they see me, they'll definitely chase after me. You guys can lay in ambush around here and wait for them to catch up. Then you can attack and kill them in one fell swoop. When they're weakened, you can kill your way to the valley and capture them all in one fell swoop. Lu Ming said. Good idea, it's really a good idea. Not bad, let's do that. The other descendants of the ancient gods nodded. Brother Lu Ming, you have to be careful when you do this, Gu Hongshan reminded. Don't worry, I have a gun. Lu Ming nodded. Lu Ming was confident that he could draw the other party away. Gu Hongshan and the rest immediately set up an ambush in the surroundings. After they were done, Lu Ming flew towards the valley in front. Who is it? A loud roar was heard. As soon as Lu Ming approached, he was discovered. It's Lu Ming. It's this kid again. Take him down. This time don't let the other party get away. Instantly, a series of explosive roars came from the valley. Lu Ming turned around and ran towards the place where Gu Hongshan and the rest were ambushing. Buzz, buzz, buzz. More than a dozen figures rushed out of the valley. They were all experts from the unique Devil Academy, including the few people who had chased after Lu Ming previously. Let's see where you can run to this time. An expert from the unique Devil Academy said ferociously. This time they had sent more than 10 experts. They were afraid that Lu Ming would run away due to the interference of the demons like the previous time. This time more than a dozen people were dispatched to see where Lu Ming could run to. Let's be careful. This brat left and came back, so be careful of any tricks. That's right. If he runs to some strange place, we'd better not chase him. There were also people who were cautious in the unique Devil Academy. Lu Ming had been chased the last time and he had come back this time. They were afraid that Lu Ming would lead them to some dangerous places and kill them with the help of the power of the dangerous places. However, they would never have expected that Lu Ming was not trying to kill them with the help of a land of peril. Instead, he was trying to borrow the strength of the descendants of the ancient gods. Therefore, Lu Ming naturally would not run to some place with wonderful terrain. Buzz, buzz, whoosh. The two sides, one chasing and the other escaping, soon arrived at the place where the ancient god was hiding. Chapter 2835 Ancient God Bodhis Level. The place where the descendants of the ancient gods were hiding was not strange, except for the complicated terrain. Therefore the people of the unique demon academy were not too vigilant. Buzz. Lu Ming, who was running away, suddenly stopped. Brat, why aren't you running anymore? Do you know that you can't escape, so I'll send you on your way? One of the black-robed elders who had caught up to Lu Ming previously spoke coldly and slashed at Lu Ming. You guys are the ones on the road. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Boom. A huge fist suddenly came from behind Lu Ming. The fist was covered in red scales and it shattered the elder's saber light. Bang. Gu Hongshan's huge body appeared behind Lu Ming. Bang. Bang. Tall figures rushed over from all directions and surrounded the dozen or so experts from the unique Devil Academy. Not good. Ah, I've been tricked. Retreat. The people of the unique Devil Academy cried out in fear and wanted to retreat. They had never imagined that there would be so many descendants of ancient gods lying in ambush here. However, how did Lu Ming end up with the descendants of the ancient gods? Kill. Gu Hongshan roared furiously and charged towards the people from the unique Devil Academy. The 30-odd ancient god descendants all transformed into huge ancient god bodies. They were powerful and charged toward the dozen-odd people from the unique Devil Academy. Although there were also experts in the unique Devil Academy, they were no match for Gu Hongshan and the others. Miserable screams could be heard continuously as they were killed one after another. Ah, the black-robed old man who was chasing after Lu Ming let out an unwilling roar and was smashed into pieces by Gu Hongshan's fist. This was a massacre. Over a dozen experts from the unique Demon Academy were killed in an instant. Haha, awesome. Gu Hongshan laughed. There's no time to lose. Let's kill our way into the valley and take them all out in one fell swoop. Lu Ming said. Kill our way over. Immediately they charged towards the valley. There was indeed a group of people from the unique Devil Academy gathered in the valley. Their cultivation levels were all different. The weaker ones were only at the real god realm. There were about 30 of them, but none of them were too powerful. When Gu Hongshan and the others arrived, it was another massacre. Not long after, all the people from the unique Devil Academy in the valley were killed. Unique Devil Academy. This is only the beginning. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with killing intent. The unique Demon Academy had forced him and they were irreconcilable. Lu Ming would uproot the unique Demon Academy and the Immortal Sword Sect sooner or later. After cleaning up the battlefield, Lu Ming followed Gu Hongshan and the rest to the 8th tribe. Following the ancient god's mountain, they didn't have to worry about the demons' attacks. They were much faster. However, after more than 10 days of traveling, they finally crossed the endless wild mountains and arrived at the 8th tribe. The 8th tribe, the descendants of the ancient gods, was a huge city. The entire city was made of a type of stone which was extremely hard. Within the city there were many magnificent stone buildings. All these buildings had one thing in common, and that was they were huge, extremely huge. The descendants of the ancient gods cultivated the ancient god tactics and would turn into the ancient god body. Their bodies would change greatly. If the building was not big enough, it could easily be blown up by their huge bodies. Along the way, Lu Ming learned a lot about the descendants of the ancient gods in this world. The descendants of the ancient gods in this world were divided into 10 tribes. Each tribe had hundreds of thousands of people, up to millions. Gu Hongshan was in the 8th tribe. Among the 10 tribes, the strength of the 8th tribe was below average with a population of about 500,000. The descendants of the ancient gods mainly cultivated the ancient god tactic. The descendants of ancient gods could enter the blood pool and awaken their ancient god bodies. When combined with the ancient god tactic, they would be extremely powerful, especially their divine bodies, which were extremely powerful. However, not everyone could awaken the ancient god body. Some people whose bloodline was not pure enough could not awaken the ancient god body. Only when the bloodline was pure enough could one awaken the ancient god body. The ancient god body was divided into 7 levels. The colors were red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. The first level, which was also the worst level, was called the Scarlet Armored Ancient God Body. For example, Gu Hongshan, Gu Yuan, and the others had awakened an ancient god body of this level. In truth, Most of the ancient god descendants had awakened an ancient god body that was scarlet-armored. There were very, very few people who could awaken the second level, the orange-armored ancient god body. For example, the divine king that Lu Ming had seen in the Ice Soul clan's base was 100 meters tall and covered in orange scales. He had awakened the orange-armored ancient god body. As for the third level, the yellow-armored ancient god body, it was even rarer. It was extremely rare. Of course, this was only referring to the newly awakened level. In reality, the descendants of the ancient gods could also advance their ancient god body by practicing the ancient god tactic. However, the difficulty was shocking. It was only possible if one had unparalleled talent. After knowing this news, Lu Ming's heart burned even more fervently. When he came to the 8th tribe and the people there knew that he was the descendant of an ascetic, they were all very polite to him. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had stayed in the 8th tribe for a few days. Brother Lu Ming, I'll take a few more months for the blood pool of the 8th tribe to open. You can stay here for the next few months. When the blood pool opens, you can go in and awaken your ancient god body, Gu Hongshan said. Big brother Hongshan, where are you going? Lu Ming asked. He could tell that Gu Hongshan was going out again. It's all because of the outsiders. Going to go hunt for them. Gu Hongshan's eyes flashed with a cold light. Big brother Hongshan, I'll go with you guys. In any case, I'll take a few months before the blood pool opens. During this period of time I'll be free as well. Lu Ming said. He planned to go with Gu Hongshan and the rest. He was mainly worried about Ouyang Xianxia, Yu Linglong and the rest. If he could bump into them, Lu Ming could still think of a way to save them. This is good too. Gu Hongshan nodded and brought Lu Ming along. For the next few months, Lu Ming, Gu Hongshan, and the others traveled through the barbaric mountains. However, Lu Ming did not bump into Yu Linglong and the rest. He did not even see any acquaintances. This made Lu Ming rather worried. Furthermore, as time passed, the number of people who came in from the Qin Heaven's starfield became fewer and fewer. Towards the end, they did not even meet a single person for a few days. Gu Hongshan and the others speculated that the outsiders had all found a place to hide. This world was incomparably huge. When the people of the Qin Heaven's starfield found some places to hide, it was naturally very difficult to find them. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Therefore, a few months later, the experts of the 10 large tribes of the descendants of the ancient gods slowly retreated from the wild mountains. For a time, the world returned to its former peace. The genius of the ancient gods' descendant Lu Ming stayed in the 8th tribe, waiting for the blood pool to open. Every tribe of the descendants of ancient gods had a blood pool, but it couldn't be opened at any time. Because the energy of the blood pool was limited, the opening time was fixed. It would open once every 100 years. Lu Ming wandered around the 8th tribe and unknowingly came to a wide open space. At this time his path was blocked. More than 10 young men, each of them burly and dark-skinned, blocked Lu Ming's path. He was an expert of the younger generation in the 8th tribe. Lu Ming, I heard that you're the descendant of an ascetic? A young man with a square face and a height of about 2 meters stared at Lu Ming and asked. Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. There's always a rumor that every ascetic has extremely powerful combat strength that far surpasses his peers. I wonder if this rumor is true. Today we'll see it for ourselves. The square-faced young man said, revealing a strong desire to fight. It turned out that these young men wanted to spar with Lu Ming. With a sweep of his gaze, he discovered that the square-faced young man's cultivation was only at the 7th stage true god realm. Lu Ming shook his head and said, You're not my match. Lu Ming was speaking the truth. A 7th stage true god was indeed not his match. Presumptuous. Your cultivation is clearly lower than mine. How do you know that I'm not your match? We haven't awakened our divine bodies either. My cultivation is higher than yours, so I can suppress you. Come, let's fight. The square-faced young man was very persistent. His combat strength was strong as he charged toward Lu Ming. The other young men were also staring at Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. He knew that he had no choice but to take action. In the legends of the descendants of the ancient gods, ascetics were people with extremely powerful combat strength. These people were obviously very curious and did not believe it. They wanted to test Lu Ming's skills. In the surroundings, figures appeared one after another. They were the descendants of the other ancient gods. Gu Hongshan's figure had also appeared. However, they didn't stop him. Instead, they looked on with anticipation. The descendants of the ancient gods loved to fight. They wanted to see Lu Ming's combat strength. All right, then let's have a spar. Lu Ming nodded. His body rose into the air and he stood high in the sky. Bang! The square-faced young man took a step forward and soared into the sky as well, standing face to face with Lu Ming. Boom! The square-faced young man was the first to move. Facing Lu Ming, he didn't dare to be careless and used his full strength. The power of a 7th-tier true god erupted completely and he threw a punch at Lu Ming. Boom! Lu Ming also threw a punch. This punch had triggered the double combat power of the battle formula. Thump! The two fists collided with a violent boom. Then the square-faced young man's body shook violently and was blown away like a cannonball. He flew hundreds of miles away. His face turned pale and he spat out a mouthful of blood. The square-faced young man looked at Lu Ming in shock. One move. It was only one move and he was defeated. He was no match for Lu Ming at all. Amazing. As expected of the descendant of a bitter cultivator. His cultivation is obviously 2 levels lower, but in terms of strength he completely overpowers me. Gu Hongshan exclaimed. It's true. I also feel that he didn't use his full strength. I wonder how strong he will be if he uses his full strength. The others also sighed, feeling even more curious. Thanks for letting me win. Lu Ming cupped his fists at the square-faced young man. Amazing, he's indeed amazing. I'm convinced. The square-faced young man sighed and flew down to the ground. Bang! After the square-faced young man flew down, another young man flew up to look at the sky and stood in front of Lu Ming. I'm Gu Zhui at the stage 9 of True God Realm. I'd like to have a look. The young man cupped his fists. Please. Lu Ming raised his hand. Since the other party wanted to spar, he would accompany him to the end. He would make the ancient god completely convinced and show his strength. Only then would he be able to gain more benefits from the ancient god descendants. Boom. Gu Zhui made his move. His muscles bulged and his body seemed to have turned into steel. Although he hadn't awakened his ancient god body, the power of his divine body was extraordinary. He attacked continuously, his fists tearing through the air and blasting toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not take out his long spear. He also used his fist to fight the enemy. However, Lu Ming's fist contained 6 types of divine power. Furthermore, it was the explosive power of the battle character formula that tripled his combat power. Lu Ming's strength was already astonishingly strong and he could completely suppress his opponent. Thump. Boom. The two of them exchanged a few moves in a row. Gu Zhui could not withstand Lu Ming's attacks and retreated frantically. It was almost the same as the square-faced young man earlier. He was also crushed by Lu Ming. Amazing, really amazing. Gu Zhui, a stage 9 true god, is hard to match. The ascetic strength is truly terrifying. Can he fight against a heavenly god? Many descendants of the ancient gods were shocked by Lu Ming. The dozen or so youths who had challenged Lu Ming earlier looked at each other. Among them, Gu Zhui was the strongest. If he couldn't defeat Gu Zhui, the other sects didn't need to fight. Is there anyone else who wants to give me a lesson? Lu Ming asked. The dozen or so youths were silent. They had already acknowledged Lu Ming's ability. The descendant of the ascetics. As expected of the descendant of the ascetics. Your strength is amazing. How about I experience it? At this moment, a voice came from afar. Then a figure flashed and a rather handsome young man appeared in the sky. This young man's aura was vast and mighty. He actually reached the celestial deity realm, a first-level celestial deity. Big brother Gu Ming, it's big brother Gu Ming. The youths from before were shocked. Gu Ming, you're one of the strongest geniuses in the 8th tribe. You're also a first-tier celestial god and have awakened the ancient god body. It's a little inappropriate for you to spar with Lu Ming. Gu Hongshan stood out and said. Big brother Hongshan, I can see that Lu Ming is very powerful and I can't help but feel a little itchy to learn from him. If Lu Ming doesn't want to spar, I won't force him. Gu Ming said with a smile. He was indeed itching for a fight. Seeing that Lu Ming was so powerful, he could not help but want to compete with Lu Ming and see what other tricks the descendants of the ascetics had. But Gu Hongshan was still hesitant. After all, Gu Ming was much more powerful than Lu Ming. Big brother Hongshan, it's fine. I was just thinking of sparring and understanding the power of the ancient god body. Lu Ming said. He had seen Gu Hongshan and the others use the ancient god body before. He only knew that it was very powerful. He had never tried it himself. He was very curious about how powerful the ancient god body was. If that's the case, why don't you two have a match? But be careful, Lu Ming. Gu Ming has an orange-armored ancient god body. Gu Hongshan reminded. An orange-armored ancient god body? Come on. Lu Ming revealed a strong fighting spirit. Ah, brother Lu Ming, you're so forthright. But if you want me to use the orange-armored ancient god body, you'll have to see if you can force me to do so. Gu Ming laughed. His heavenly god realm aura burst out. A 2-meter-long mace appeared in his hand. It was extremely ferocious. Resisting the orange-armored ancient god body, the spiked club in Gu Ming's hand was as thick as a human waist. It was covered with sharp spikes and looked extremely ferocious. Lu Ming, you make the first move. Gu Ming looked at Lu Ming and said. With his celestial god cultivation base, he had already lost face by fighting Lu Ming. At this moment he did not want to take advantage of him. All right. Lu Ming nodded. 6 divine flames burned in his body and the battle character formula was triggered to quadruple his combat power. The 3 apocalyptic strikes break the sky. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. A dazzling spear gleam streaked across the void, heading straight for Gu Ming. So strong. The moment Lu Ming made his move, many of the descendants of the ancient gods were shocked. The power of Lu Ming's move had completely reached the level of a divine realm expert. It was much stronger than when he had fought Guzhua and the others. Gu Ming's pupils also shrank and his expression turned serious. God critical strike. Die. Gu Ming shouted and unleashed his full power. He waved his mace, bringing with it a strong wind and smashing it toward Lu Ming. Thump. The 2 attacks collided. In the void, it was as if hundreds of millions of explosives had exploded, causing a terrifying tremor. Buzz. Buzz. The long spear in Lu Ming's hands trembled violently. Lu Ming felt a surge of energy and he retreated rapidly. At the same time, Gu Ming's figure also retreated rapidly. He retreated even more than Lu Ming. So powerful. He's really powerful. Lu Ming actually managed to force Gu Ming to retreat. Gu Ming is a celestial god. His combat strength is terrifying. I don't think Gu Ming can defeat Lu Ming without using the ancient god body. Indeed. The descendants of the ancient god clan were all shocked. Gu Ming's eyes were also extremely serious, but his fighting spirit was even stronger. Lu Ming, you're really something. It looks like I'm no match for you even if I don't transform into my ancient god body. You'll have to be careful from now on. As soon as Gu Ming finished speaking, a terrifying aura burst out from his body. Roar. A roar came from Gu Ming's body as if an ancient god was roaring. At the same time, Gu Ming's body grew rapidly. He grew to more than 20 meters at an astonishing speed. Moreover, Gu Ming was different from Gu Hongshan and the others. His body was covered in orange scales which glowed under the sun. The mace in his hand also grew in size with Gu Ming's body. A giant appeared in front of Lu Ming. This was the orange-armored ancient god body. God critical strike. Gu Ming hollered and swung his mace at Lu Ming again. The sky shook violently. The power this time was much stronger than the previous time. 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon cutting. Die. Lu Ming growled. Thick divine power gushed into the long spear. The long spear struck down and a crescent-shaped spear light burst out. Clang. The 2 sides clashed for the second time. The terrifying sound waves spread out in all directions. Then Lu Ming's body was blasted away like a cannonball. He was thrown hundreds of miles away, leaving a long trail of air. Lu Ming had already activated the 9-layer crimson gold armor. However, at that moment cracks appeared on the armor. Lu Ming felt his entire body go numb and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. What a terrifying strength. Lu Ming looked at Gu Ming's huge body in front of him, his heart filled with shock. Gu Ming's power had exceeded his expectations. Even if he used all his strength, it would be difficult for him to fight against Gu Ming's power. Is this the power of the ancient god body? Lu Ming muttered. He could not help but look forward to it. Gu Ming was a completely different person when he had the ancient god body and when he hadn't. The difference in power was too great. And this was only the orange-armored ancient god body. If he could awaken an even stronger ancient god body, how strong would he be? Lu Ming's heart was burning with desire for the ancient god body. Lu Ming, do you want to do it again? Gu Ming's deep voice rang out. Of course I'm coming. This is just the beginning. Lu Ming laughed. He had not used his tricks yet. Buzz. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kun Ping technique. In a flash he appeared above Gu Ming's head. 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around Gu Ming. At the same time, a 9-clawed divine dragon appeared and pounced at Gu Ming with a roar. Good. Gu Ming waved his mace and struck at the ice chains and the 9-clawed divine dragon. However, as Lu Ming's cultivation level increased, the power of the ice shackles and the divine dragon materialization technique had also increased significantly. They were not so easy to break now. Plang, plang. Although the ice chains and the 9-clawed divine dragon were swept away by Gu Ming, they were not destroyed. After they were swept away, they continued to attack Gu Ming. At the same time, Lu Ming himself also cast the moon-cutting move and attacked Gu Ming. It could be said that Lu Ming had used all his means and exerted his strength to the extreme. However, he was still no match for an unknown opponent. He could not get close to Gu Ming at all and form an effective attack. Every time he attacked, Gu Ming would deflect it with terrifying power. However, Lu Ming's speed was extremely fast and his methods were complicated and varied. Gu Ming could not defeat Lu Ming in a short time. The two of them had exchanged dozens of moves, but neither of them had a winner. Alright, let's stop fighting. There's no point in fighting like this. After a while, Gu Ming suddenly cried out. He waved his mace and knocked away the ice chains and the 9-clawed divine dragon. He quickly retreated and shrunk to the size of an ordinary person. With a single thought, the ice chain flew back to Lu Ming's body and disappeared. The 9-clawed divine dragon also dispersed. The orange-armored ancient god body is truly powerful. Lu Ming sighed. You're the one who's amazing. You haven't awakened your ancient god body and your cultivation is only at tier 5 true god, but you're so strong. You're really abnormal. Gu Ming sighed, but his eyes were filled with admiration. Lu Ming shook his head and smiled. He had relied on the combination of various secret skills and godly skills to fight Gu Ming. He was definitely not Gu Ming's match if he were to fight him head-on. Although Gu Ming's cultivation was at the first-level sky celestial realm, his combat strength increased dramatically when he transformed into the ancient god body. The power of a head-on collision would probably crush a second-level sky celestial realm expert and be comparable to a third-level sky celestial realm expert. However, his weakness was his slow speed and few changes. Otherwise, Lu Ming would definitely not be a match for Gu Ming. When you awaken your ancient god body, let's have a spar. Gu Ming said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. At the same time, the other descendants of the ancient god were also in a heated discussion. They were shocked by Lu Ming's abilities. Is this the strength of an ascetic? Isn't that a little too terrifying? It's indeed too shocking. Ordinary ascetics are definitely not this powerful. I reckon that Lu Ming is a peerless genius even among the ascetics. Definitely. Everyone nodded in unison. If an ordinary bitter cultivator had such strength, it would be a huge blow to them. They did not doubt Lu Ming's various means. In their opinion, it was normal for ascetics to have all kinds of wonderful means when they walked through all kinds of dangerous places to train themselves. Chapter 2838 Awakening. The sparring session came to an end. Lu Ming had also witnessed the power of the ancient god body. He returned to his residence and waited patiently. 7 days later, the blood pool was officially opened. Lu Ming, along with more than 20 youths from the 8th tribe, followed a few elders to a huge stone hall. In addition to them, there were many people from the 8th tribe gathered outside the stone hall. They were all here to watch. Blood pool open. An old man shouted. Then a few elders stepped forward and formed strange runes in their hands. The runes flew towards the door of the stone hall. The door opened with a rumble, revealing a pitch-black entrance. Go in. Remember, do your best. The longer you stay in the blood pool, the more bloodline power you can absorb and the stronger your ancient god body will be. An old man warned. Yes. The 20-odd young men nodded in unison and walked toward the gate. Lu Ming was among them. When they entered the door closed with a rumble. When the door closed, it glowed and an image appeared above the door. It was the image of Lu Ming and the others in the stone hall. They were outside and could see everything that was happening inside. This was also the reason why so many people had come to watch. I wonder how many people will be able to awaken the ancient god body this time. About half. Every time it's about half. I hope there'll be more this time. Let's hope someone awakens the orange-armored ancient god body. I wonder what level of ancient god body Lu Ming will awaken. He has condensed the ancient god's heart and has at least an orange-armored ancient god body. It's not impossible for him to awaken a yellow-armored ancient god body. The yellow-armored ancient god body. Once it awakens, your future will be limitless. Many people were watching and discussing. After Lu Ming and the group entered the stone hall, they saw a pitch-black passage. They followed the passage and walked for 100 miles. The light in front of them brightened. They had actually come to a huge space. This space was brightly lit and there was a small lake on the ground. The lake water was blood red in color and a terrifying energy rippled out. Is this the blood pool? It's a lake. Lu Ming sighed. Let's go in. Remember, we'll hold on for as long as we can. There's only one chance, so we have to seize it. Gu Shuo warned the others. Everyone nodded, then slowly walked down to the blood pool. Lu Ming also stepped into the blood pool. As soon as he stepped into the blood pool, a powerful and strange force rushed toward Lu Ming. It seeped through his skin and gushed into his ancient god heart. The aura of an ancient god. Lu Ming could feel that the energy that surged into the blood pool had a rich ancient god aura. Lu Ming quickened his pace and soon his entire body was submerged in the lake. More energy from all directions rushed towards Lu Ming and gushed into the ancient god's heart. The ancient god's heart started to thump. With the influx of energy, the ancient god's heart beat even more fiercely. It even took the initiative to burst out of force and absorb the energy from the outside world. Outside the stone hall, everyone waited quietly. About 3 hours later, the lake water churned as a young man rushed out of the water and landed on the shore, gasping for breath. We failed. The young man's eyes were filled with disappointment and loneliness. He hadn't even awakened his ancient god body, and he already couldn't handle the energy of the blood pool. This meant that he had failed. The blood pool had a mysterious energy. Each person could only enter it once. If they entered it a second time, they would be ejected by a force. If he didn't succeed this time, he would never be able to awaken the ancient god body again. Gu Feng has failed. Sigh, although I knew beforehand that the chances of him succeeding were very low, I still held on to a sliver of hope. Unfortunately, outside the stone hall someone sighed. It was Gu Feng's family. Gu Feng's failure was only the beginning. Following this, more and more people failed and more people charged out of the blood pool. Once one entered the blood pool, a powerful force would pour into the body. When the force accumulated enough, it could even burst the body. Therefore many people couldn't bear it. This was a test of one's willpower and the concentration of the ancient god bloodline. The higher the concentration of the ancient god bloodline, the more energy could be absorbed. Just like Lu Ming, the ancient god's heart kept absorbing the energy and he did not feel any pressure at all. As time passed, more and more people failed. Half a day later, half of the people had failed. The people who had failed all had ugly expressions inside. The people outside the stone hall became nervous. Anyone who could stay in the blood pool for half a day had a high chance of awakening the ancient god body. Suddenly, a huge roar came from a certain direction of the blood pool. Blood waves churned and formed a vortex. At the same time, a huge figure appeared in the air. This figure was not a real entity but a phantom. This was a real ancient god's shadow. The ancient god apparition raised its head and gave a long howl, exuding an aura of supremacy. Then a loud roar came from under the lake. Then a young man's figure appeared. His body began to swell. He was originally 2 meters tall, but he quickly grew to 3 or 4 meters. Red scales also appeared on the surface of his body. Someone had succeeded in awakening the scarlet-armored ancient god body. In the end, the young man stopped growing when he was 8 meters tall. As his cultivation increased, he would reach a higher height when he transformed into an ancient god body. At this time, the ancient god's shadow in the sky also disappeared. It turned into a ray of light and entered the young man's body. The young man's body began to shrink, returning to the size of a normal person. He landed on the shore with a smile on his face. Gu Tong, congratulations. Congratulations on awakening the ancient god body. On the shore, those young men who had failed came over to congratulate him, all of them with envious expressions. Outside the stone hall, many people also revealed happy expressions. With every new member of the tribe that awakened the ancient god body, the 8th tribe would become stronger. This young man's success was like a prologue to success. Following that, more and more young men succeeded. 2 days later, a total of 11 young men and women awakened their ancient god bodies. However, they were all in red armor and not orange armor. 2 days later, there were only 2 people left in the blood pool. One of them was Lu Ming and the other was Zhou Xian. Zhou Xian is extremely talented. I wonder if he'll be able to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. Let's see. If he can stay in the blood pool for 3 days, he might be able to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. It's hard to say. Gu Ming spent 5 days in the blood pool. Outside the stone hall, many people were looking on in anticipation. Chapter 2838 Green-Armored Ancient God. Generally speaking, if one could stay in the blood pool for 3 days, it meant that they had absorbed enough energy and had the chance to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. Of course, he was not 100%. The longer one stayed in the blood pool, the higher the chance of success. In the blink of an eye, another day had passed. Lu Ming and the rest had been in the blood pool for 3 whole days. Many people started to get nervous. It had been 3 days. Lu Ming and Zhou Xian had been in the blood pool for 3 days. Lu Ming and the others weren't too worried. He had the ancient god's heart and would have no problem awakening the orange-armored ancient god body. What they were worried about was Zhou Xian. Would he be able to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body? Time slowly passed as everyone waited expectantly. Soon 4 days had passed since Lu Ming and the rest entered the blood pool. It's been 4 days. It's already been 4 days. Zhou Xian's chances of awakening the orange-armored ancient god body have increased. Let's hope that he can successfully awaken the orange-armored ancient god body. Once one awakens the orange-armored ancient god body, they would become a peerless genius. No matter which tribe they were in, they would be a top genius. That was because only by awakening the orange-armored ancient god body would one have a chance of becoming a god king. Those who had not awakened the orange-armored ancient god body had almost no chance of becoming a god king. At this moment, a roar was heard. On the surface of a lake, the shadow of an ancient god suddenly appeared. This ancient god phantom was several times larger than the previous ancient god phantoms. It was mighty and extraordinary. Then Zhou Xian's body also appeared on the lake. As soon as he appeared, he roared and his body rapidly expanded. On the surface of his body, dense orange scales appeared. Orange, it's orange scales. The orange-armored ancient god body. It's the orange-armored ancient god body. Zhou Xian has successfully awakened the orange-armored ancient god body. The 8th tribe has gained yet another orange-armored ancient god body. Many people laughed in excitement. Zhou Xian's body didn't stop growing until it was more than 10 meters long. He stood on the lake mightily. After a while, the shadow of the ancient god turned into a beam of light and rushed into Zhou Xian's body, disappearing. His body began to transform into a human and landed on the shore. Zhou Xian's face was full of smiles. He had finally successfully awakened the orange-armored ancient god body, and his cultivation had also improved to the peak of Tier 9 True God Realm. He wasn't far from the Sky God Realm. The other young men on the shore were extremely envious. Who else is in the blood pool? Zhou Xian asked. There's still Lu Ming. Someone answered. Zhou Xian nodded. Lu Ming being in the blood pool was within his expectations. After all, Lu Ming had condensed the heart of the ancient god. Lu Ming, I wonder what level of ancient god body you'll awaken? Orange or yellow? Zhou Xian muttered. It was extremely rare for someone to awaken the yellow-armored ancient god body at the beginning of the battle in the 10 great tribes of the ancient god descendants. Everyone continued to wait. The 5th day, the 6th day, the 7th day. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been in the blood pool for 8 days. It's been 8 days. He's 100% sure to awaken the orange-armored ancient god body, but he's still a little short of awakening the yellow-armored ancient god body. Yes. If you want to awaken the yellow-armored ancient god body, you'll have to stay for at least 10 days. I wonder how many days he can stay. Some people were discussing in low voices, looking forward to it. Time passed day by day. 10 days, 11 days, 12 days. Very soon, Lu Ming had stayed there for more than 10 days. However, he still had no intention of coming out. There was no sign of him awakening his ancient god body. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been in the blood pool for a month. At this moment, everyone was no longer calm. Their eyes were wide open and their breathing was rapid. 1 month they had actually stayed for a month. According to their ancient records, among the descendants of ancient gods, the longest time they had stayed was 33 days. Lu Ming was close to this record. Can Lu Ming break the record of 33 days? The prodigy from the first tribe who stayed in the 33 heavens almost awakened the green-armored ancient god body. Lu Ming can't possibly do that, can he? Many people looked at each other. In the history of the ancient god descendants, there had never been a green-armored ancient god body the moment it awakened. Everyone's heart was beating fast. They were both nervous and looking forward to it. Time passed day by day. 31 days, 32 days, 33 days. In the blink of an eye, 33 days had passed. Lu Ming had already tied the record. However, this was not the end. Lu Ming was still creating a new record. 34 days, 35 days. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had already stayed for 45 days. 45 days, a full 12 days more than the previous record. At this moment, a roar finally came from the lake. This roar was like the rebirth of an ancient god, shaking the vast universe and stars. The entire stone hall shook violently. In the blood pool, blood waves surged and rolled crazily and blood light filled the air. At this moment it wasn't just the 8th tribe. The blood pools of the other 9 tribes of the ancient god descendants were also filled with roars. Waves of blood surged and divine light filled the sky. What's going on? Why did the blood pool have such a strange movement? I don't know. What's going on? Could it be that someone has awakened a terrifying ancient god body? It seems like the 8th tribe has been opening the blood pool recently. Send someone. Send someone to the 8th tribe immediately and ask for information. Orders were issued from the other tribes of the ancient god clan. In the blood pool of the 8th tribe, waves of blood were surging. Lu Ming's figure emerged from the blood waves. Lu Ming's eyes glowed with a shocking blood-red light. He raised his head and roared. The ancient god's heart gushed out waves of terrifying energy and surged into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body began to expand rapidly. His height was growing at an astonishing speed. 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters. It grew crazily and finally stopped when it reached 100 meters. Lu Ming's body was covered in green scales. The green-armored ancient god body. He really did awaken the green-armored ancient god body. Oh my god, he's awakened the green-armored ancient god body right at the beginning of his awakening. He's the first in all of history. No wonder his strength is so shocking. He's too talented. I was wondering how all ascetics could be so powerful. He must be the most talented one among them. The green-armored ancient god body. His future is limitless. He won't be able to break through to the God King realm, right? Heavens! Outside the stone hall there was a clamor. Everyone was looking at the scene in the sky in shock, unable to calm down. On the shore of the blood pool the other young men were dumbfounded, completely speechless. Chapter 2841 Ancient God Tactic Green-Armored Ancient God Body. It's a green-armored ancient god body. Impressive. I wonder how strong it is. In the crowd, Gu Ming was also amazed. At the same time he had a strong desire to fight. He really wanted to test the green-armored ancient god Buddha's combat power. Green-armored ancient god body. Not bad. At this moment Lu Ming felt that he was filled with infinite power. He was much stronger than before. It was as if he could blow up a star with one punch. Of course, this was an illusion. The current Lu Ming could not be that strong. This was an illusion caused by the surge in his strength. My cultivation has also broken through and reached the 6th stage of true God realm. Lu Ming revealed a smile. When he had awakened the green-armored ancient god body, his cultivation had also benefited from it, breaking through to tier 6 true God. At this moment, the ancient god's apparition turned into a ray of light and rushed into Lu Ming's body, disappearing. With a single thought Lu Ming's body shrunk rapidly. The scales on his body disappeared and he returned to the size of a normal person. He stepped on the air and landed on the shore. Lu Ming, congratulations. Lu Ming, you're really amazing. Immediately, the people on the shore walked towards Lu Ming with deep envy and admiration on their faces. No one was jealous. When a person's achievements exceeded his own by too much, there would be no jealousy, only envy and worship. I was lucky. Let's go out. Lu Ming smiled. Afterward, everyone followed the passage and left. Lu Ming was warmly welcomed by the 8th tribe after he left. Lu Ming, I think you'd better be single. My Hunyao is not bad. She can do anything. Do you want to consider it? My second daughter is also not bad. Smart, beautiful and charming. I think you two are really a good match. Immediately, a group of aunties surrounded Lu Ming and started to matchmake him. Lu Ming felt a headache coming on, especially when he looked at the few ladies who were big and strong and had arms thicker than their waists. He broke out in a cold sweat. Big sister, this is called beautiful and alluring? Our aesthetic standards are too different, right? Lu Ming wailed in his heart. He then pointed to the sky and swore that he already had a wife and even a child. Only then did the group of aunties let Lu Ming off, sighing in despair. In the end, the 8th tribe threw a huge banquet to celebrate Lu Ming's awakening of the green-armored ancient god body. Lu Ming sighed softly. The other party was so enthusiastic that he felt a little embarrassed. After all, he did not belong here and would leave sooner or later. After 3 rounds of drinking, Lu Ming, now that you've awakened your ancient god body, you should start cultivating the ancient god tactics. Only by cultivating the ancient god tactics will your ancient god body level improve and become stronger, an elder said to Lu Ming. This man was the patriarch of the 8th tribe. Ancient god tactic. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He had long heard of the ancient god tactic but he had never seen it. That's right. Only those who have cultivated the ancient god tactic can control the ancient god body. Come with me. The leader of the 8th tribe said and then left in a certain direction. Lu Ming followed. Not long after they came to a cave. The ancient god tactic is inside. You can go in and study it. The chief of the 8th tribe said. Thank you, chief. Lu Ming expressed his gratitude and walked into the cave. Inside the cave was a huge cave with words carved on the walls. This was the ancient god tactic. Lu Ming began to study it carefully. While Lu Ming was studying the ancient god tactic, the other 9 tribes had sent people to the 8th tribe to find out more. When they learned that a descendant of an ascetic had awakened the green-armored ancient god body in the 8th tribe, the 10 major tribes of the ancient god descendants were all shocked. Many experts flocked to the 8th tribe hoping to meet Lu Ming. Lu Ming was unaware of all of this. He was focused on comprehending the ancient god tactic. 3 months later, Lu Ming had almost fully comprehended the ancient god tactic. In the future, he just had to work hard and cultivate it. Although the ancient god body can be upgraded, it's too difficult to upgrade. The conditions to upgrade it are also extremely harsh. After studying the ancient god tactic, Lu Ming understood that, in theory, cultivating the ancient god tactic would allow one's ancient god body to level up. However, it would be very difficult. In reality, there weren't many descendants of the ancient gods who could advance their ancient god body by cultivating the ancient god tactic. Lu Ming left the cave after he was almost done with his comprehension. Lu Ming has come out. As soon as Lu Ming left the cave, the news spread throughout the 8th tribe. Lu Ming had intended to return to his residence but he was stopped halfway. Lu Ming, let's have a competition. Gu Ming stopped Lu Ming, his eyes filled with eagerness. All right. Lu Ming said with a smile. He was also looking for someone to test the power of the ancient god body. Come on. Gu Ming soared into the sky. Lu Ming followed suit. Lu Ming and Gu Ming are going to spar again. The news that the two of them were going to spar quickly spread out. In the sky, many figures immediately appeared to watch the battle. Ancient god body. This time Gu Ming was very direct. He used his ancient god body and turned into an orange-armored ancient god that was more than 20 meters tall. He held a mace and looked very majestic. Let's try the power of the ancient god body. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat as he activated the ancient god tactic. His body quickly grew into a green-armored ancient god that was 100 meters tall. Heavens! It really is the green-armored ancient god. There's no mistake. How terrifying. In the area, There were some people from other tribes who were shocked beyond imagination when they saw this. God critical strike. Gu Ming roared in anger and charged at Lu Ming. This was because Lu Ming's body was constantly emitting the pressure of an ancient god. This pressure made him feel a sense of fear. This was the suppression of a superior against a lower-ranked. He was afraid that if this continued he would lose the courage to fight. Therefore he could only make the first move. Come on. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands and he swept it out. Lu Ming did not activate the battle formula for this attack. He only used his divine power and the power of his ancient god body. A huge spear as large as a mountain range shot towards Gu Ming. Boom. The spear and the mace collided with each other, shaking the world. Buzz. The long spear shook and a terrifying force burst out. Gu Ming's body was thrown back thousands of miles away. Lu Ming was like an adult who had sent a baby flying with a rod. Gu Ming flew for more than 1,000 miles before he stopped. His body trembled slightly and his hands almost lost their grip on the mace. Again. Gu Ming shouted and charged at Lu Ming again using all his strength. However, Lu Ming pulled out his spear and Gu Ming's body was sent flying again. Absolute suppression. Chapter 2841 Northern Desolate Demon Plains. This time, Lu Ming had yet to activate the battle formula, and he had already achieved an absolute suppression over Gu Ming. Gu Ming was no match for Lu Ming in terms of strength. I wonder if the battle formula can be combined with the ancient god body. Give it a try. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he instantly activated the battle formula that tripled his combat power. Buzz. The 1,000-meter-long spear was lashed out, causing the void to constantly produce explosive sounds. Bang. This time, Gu Ming's body was sent flying thousands of miles away. He crashed into a mountain and shattered it. Lu Ming was shocked. He was afraid that Gu Ming would be whipped to death. The battle symbol art could indeed be combined with the ancient god body, and when combined the power was even more shocking. Fortunately, the descendants of ancient gods had transformed into ancient god bodies, so their life force was too strong. Gu Ming's figure rushed out from the mountain peak. However, he was in an extremely miserable state. The scales on his body were broken and blood was flowing out. He looked like he was on the verge of death. "I'm done, you pervert, I'm done." Gu Ming shouted from afar. If their strength was similar they could still compete. However, if the difference in strength was too great he would be looking for a beating. I wonder what realm I'll be able to fight against if I unleash my full strength now. Lu Ming began to measure his combat strength. When he was at the 5th stage of True God realm, before he had awakened the ancient god body, he could kill a 1st stage celestial god and fight with a 2nd stage true god. And when his cultivation broke through to the 6th stage True God realm, he would most likely be able to suppress a 2nd stage true god and even kill a 2nd stage celestial god. Usually, those who could break through to the heavenly god realm were those who could control king-grade divine power. Of course, this was with the exception of those who could control saint-grade divine power. In other words, Lu Ming estimated that if he didn't use the ancient god body and used all his skills, he could suppress or even kill a 2nd-level celestial god. However, once he used the ancient god body, his power would increase dramatically and he could even kill a 4th-level celestial god. Once he used the ancient god body, his strength would increase by 2 levels and it was 2 levels of the sky god realm. This was Lu Ming's estimation of his abilities. The ancient god body was simply too powerful. Of course, this was because he had a green-armored ancient god body. A low-level ancient god body wouldn't have improved so much. Amazing, amazing. If my strength increases by 2 more levels, I can even fight against Tianhong Floating Light and the others. Lu Ming revealed a confident expression. Although the Tianhong Saint Sun and the Transient Light Saint Sun were also at the 4th-level heavenly god realm, they were the Kong Xian Sect Saint Suns. Their combat strength could not be judged by their cultivation. Is this the green-armored ancient god body? What a terrifying power. He's so powerful. Gu Ming is no match for him. I wonder how powerful he will be if he breaks through to the heavenly god realm. The descendants of the ancient gods around were also amazed. Buzz. At this moment, some figures appeared near Lu Ming and sized him up carefully. Lu Ming, they're from another tribe. Gu Hongshan flew over and said. So you're from another tribe. It seems like the news of me awakening the green-armored ancient god body has already spread. Lu Ming nodded. He had thought that the news of him awakening the green-armored ancient god body had been spread by the 8th tribe. In fact, he had no idea that his awakening had caused such a huge commotion that it had alarmed others. "You're very strong. How about we spar?" Another young man stepped out. This person's body was majestic like a heavenly pagoda. Zhou Xian, the #1 genius of the 3rd tribe. The moment this young man appeared, he was immediately recognized. "All right, then let's have a spar." Lu Ming nodded directly. He had just gained control of his ancient god body, and he needed to fight to get used to it. Roar. With a roar, Zhou Xian displayed his ancient god body. As the #1 genius of the 3rd tribe, Zhou Xian's ancient god body was also an orange-armored ancient god body, and his cultivation had already reached the 3rd level of the celestial god realm. Although it seemed like he had just reached this level, his strength was much stronger than Gu Ming's. Fight! Fight! Lu Ming and Zhou Xian took action immediately. The two of them transformed into two giants and fought and collided with each other crazily. Zhou Xian's cultivation base was much higher than Lu Ming's. Lu Ming was at a disadvantage in the beginning. However, as Lu Ming's control of the ancient god body became more and more proficient, he was able to use all his divine skills and secret skills with the ancient god body. Lu Ming slowly turned the tables around and was in a deadlock with Zhou Xian. Both sides exchanged hundreds of moves and were drenched in sweat. Satisfying, satisfying. Lu Ming's eyes were bright. The descendant of an ancient god was indeed a warmonger. The battle with Zhou Xian had allowed Lu Ming to unleash his combat strength to his heart's content. His use and comprehension of various divine skills had reached a higher level. Amazing, let's fight another day. After so many battles, Zhou Xian was almost exhausted, so he could only stop the battle. Lu Ming nodded and returned to his residence to comprehend it in detail. In the days that followed, the experts of the ancient god clan would either challenge Lu Ming or he would take the initiative to fight with the experts of the ancient god clan. He constantly trained his combat strength and the use of various divine skills and secret skills. Gradually, Lu Ming became more and more skilled in using the various divine skills and secret skills that he had control over. When he coordinated them, they were flawless. Just like that, Lu Ming stayed in the tribe of ancient god descendants for 5 years. In the past 5 years, he had visited the 10 great tribes of the ancient gods' descendants. The descendants of the ancient gods were very forthright and treated Lu Ming as one of their own. Lu Ming made many friends here, such as Zhou Xian, Gu Ming, and the others. They would spar with each other from time to time. In the past 5 years, Lu Ming had not met anyone from the Qin Heaven Star system. However, he knew from the other ancient god descendants that the people from the Qin Heaven Star system were still in this world. They had not left and were hiding in various places. Lu Ming speculated that the door to the exit had not been opened. Therefore, Lu Ming was not in a hurry. 5 years later, Lu Ming planned to head to the northern wilderness demonic plains in this world. Lu Ming, you're going to the northern wilderness demon field? When Lu Ming told Gu Hongshan about his plan, Gu Hongshan's expression changed. The demon's land of the northern wilderness was at the extreme north of the ancient god world. It was said that there were countless demons there. Moreover, the demons there were different from the ones that Lu Ming and the rest had encountered when they first entered this world. There were many demons there that had intelligence and were more terrifying. The demons of the northern wilderness demon field had always been the archenemy of the ancient god descendants. Both sides had been killing each other for countless years. Therefore, Gu Hongshan's expression changed when he heard Lu Ming's words. Lu Ming, I know that you, the descendant of ascetics, need to go to all kinds of dangerous places to take risks and temper yourself. But the northern wilderness demon field is very dangerous. You still have to be careful. Gu Hongshan warned. Big brother Hongshan, don't worry. I know. Lu Ming nodded. Although he could train here, he could not engage in life and death battles. After all, the training for Lu Ming was much less. That was why he chose to go to the northern wilderness demon field. Chapter 2841 True God Stage 8 Lu Ming took his leave and set foot on the journey of the northern wilderness demon field alone. The cold wind whistled and the world was vast. Lu Ming was not flying. Instead, he was walking on the ground at a steady pace. The resources on this land were more abundant than the area where Lu Ming and the rest had just entered. Lu Ming had only been here for 7 days and he had already obtained many natural treasures. Most of the divine medicine was consumed by the quantity word formula, and the metal element materials were given to Xiao. Roar. With a roar, a demonic wind gushed over. At the same time, a huge creature pounced towards Lu Ming. It was a tiger-shaped demon with a third-level celestial deity cultivation base. In an instant, Lu Ming activated the tripled combat power of the battle formula and swept his spear out. Buzz. Lu Ming's long spear struck the tiger-shaped fiend's sharp claws, producing a clanging sound and sparks. Buzz. Lu Ming retreated a few thousand meters before he could stabilize himself. Descendant of an ancient god, how dare you come to the northern wilderness demon field? Die. The tiger-shaped fiend roared and charged at Lu Ming again. As expected, it has a high level of intelligence. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. The demons they met when they first entered the world of ancient gods had no intelligence. It was said that a part of the demons in the demon field in the northern wilderness had intelligence. The demons had intelligence, so they were undoubtedly more terrifying. Ball. Lu Ming waved his hand and Xiao flew out. It was covered in lightning and a bolt of lightning struck out. The bolt of lightning struck the tiger-shaped fiend directly, sending it flying. Roar. The tiger-shaped demonic devil roared. It was heavily injured, but it did not die. It struggled to get up and revealed a trace of fear. Then it turned around and ran. Fiendish demons truly are more powerful than ordinary cultivators. Lu Ming had an idea. He moved and chased after the tiger-shaped fiend. If it was a third-level heavenly deity from the Qin Heaven Star domain, he would definitely die if he was struck by Xiao's lightning. However, this fiendish demon was only seriously injured and had yet to die. Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique and rapidly closed the distance between him and the tiger-shaped fiend. Descendant of the ancient god, you are the one who will die today. At this moment, the tiger-shaped fiend demon suddenly stopped, turned around and roared ferociously. Not good. Suddenly Lu Ming's heart tightened. He felt a sense of danger. Roar. Thunderous roars were heard from the side. 4 demons charged out and charged at Lu Ming. Each of the demons was at the 3rd level of the celestial deity realm, and their killing intent was as cold as a blade. They had been ambushed. Demons with spiritual intelligence were indeed terrifying. They had set up an ambush here in advance to lure Lu Ming over. Lu Ming had been too careless. He was subjective and did not think that the demons would ambush him. That was why he fell for it. The 4 third-level celestial deity fiendish demons charged at Lu Ming from all directions. This was a sure kill situation. They had to kill Lu Ming in one fell swoop. If that was all Lu Ming could do, it would be really dangerous. It would be the same even with Xiao. Xiao could block 1 or 2, but it definitely couldn't block 4. However, Lu Ming still had a trump card. Ancient god body. Lu Ming growled. His body expanded rapidly and he turned into a 100-meter-tall giant, covered in green scales. Break the sky. Lu Ming shook the long spear in his hand and it turned into 4 spear lights, stabbing out from 4 different directions. The sound of 4 sharp blades cutting into flesh was heard. The 4 demons screamed and their bodies were sent flying. Their bodies were all pierced through, leaving 4 bloody holes. They lay on the ground and no longer had any breath. With a single move, 4 third-level celestial deity demons were completely annihilated. Ancient god body. Green-armored ancient god body? How is that possible? The tiger-shaped fiend demon from before roared in disbelief. Nothing is impossible. Kill. Die. Lu Ming shouted as he stepped forward. His long spear pressed down and killed the tiger-shaped fiend. With that, the 4 demons were all annihilated and there were no other demons around. Lu Ming's body shrank to the size of a normal person. Demons with intelligence cannot be underestimated. I still have to be more careful in the future. Lu Ming warned himself. He then continued to explore and train. Spring left and autumn came. Time passed year after year. In the blink of an eye, 50 years had passed. Lu Ming had been cultivating in the northern wilderness demon field for 50 years. In the past 50 years, Lu Ming seemed to have really turned into an ascetic. Of course, Lu Ming had also gained a lot in the past 50 years. The resources in this territory were too abundant. The quantity formula had devoured a large number of divine medicine. After refining them, the energy was transferred to Lu Ming. Lu Ming broke through continuously and his cultivation had already risen from the 6th stage of True God to the 8th stage of True God. Moreover, the 50 years of training in fighting had made great progress in all kinds of divine skills. The 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique, the 9 layers of crimson gold armor, and the 3 apocalyptic strikes had all been cultivated to the 6th layer, and at the peak of the 6th layer. This caused Lu Ming's cultivation to soar to a new height. What was worth mentioning was that Xiao had eaten a large amount of metal-type materials, and its cultivation had also increased by 2 levels, breaking through to 3rd level celestial deity. His improvement speed was even faster than Lu Ming's. Good wine. Lu Ming was lying on a branch on a huge ancient tree. He held a wine gourd and took a sip casually. He could not help but exclaim in admiration. He was extremely happy. The wine in the calabash was brewed by a type of demon by gathering countless heavenly and earthly treasures. Lu Ming had chanced upon it and it could be considered a peerless wine. Lu Ming fell in love with it the moment he drank it. Lying among the tree branches and drinking fine wine, Lu Ming felt extremely satisfied. It's fun. I'll settle the scores quickly. It's really fun to be free in the human world. Unfortunately, I can't do that with my current cultivation. Lu Ming sighed softly. All of a sudden Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He saw a few figures flying forward in a flash not far away. Those few figures were not fiendish demons but people from the Qin Heaven Star region. An expert from the unique Devil Academy. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. From their attire, it was clear that they were from the unique Devil Academy. Why would the people from the unique Devil Academy appear in the northern desolate demon plains? That's strange, let's go take a look. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He then followed them carefully. Lu Ming followed along the ground and the few of them did not notice him at all. Lu Ming channeled his divine energy to his ears and listened carefully to the other party's conversation. Hurry up. The God King has summoned us. We can't be late. One of them said. May I know why the God King has summoned us in such a hurry this time? Another person asked. It's all about the descendants of the ancient gods. The last time our base was attacked, it was the descendants of the ancient gods behind the scenes. The Celestial King also found out that there are a lot of treasures among the descendants of the ancient gods. There are even treasures that can turn people into ancient gods. So this time, many forces in the Qin Heaven Star Zone have joined forces with the demons of the Northern Wilderness Demon Field. They want to wipe out the descendants of the ancient gods and take the treasures inside. The first person said. A great battle against a 6th-level heavenly deity, so that's how it is. Haha, I hope that when Lord God King gets to eat meat we'll get to drink some soup. A big man from the unique Devil Academy laughed. The experts of the Qin Heaven Starfield have actually formed an alliance with the demons of the Northern Wilderness Demon Field. They are going to attack the descendants of the ancient gods. Lu Ming was shocked when he heard the news. Lu Ming had never expected such a thing to happen. After hearing the news, the first thing that Lu Ming thought of was to rush back to the tribe of the ancient gods' descendants and inform them. The descendants of the ancient gods had lived here since ancient times. They had stood aloof from the world. When they attacked Lu Ming and the others, they treated them as intruders. Naturally, they had to fight back. In addition, Lu Ming had stayed in the tribe for 5 years. He had gained a lot in the tribe and he regarded the descendants of the ancient gods as his friends. He would definitely not watch his friends suffer a great disaster. Wait a moment. All of a sudden, an old man from the unique Devil Academy shouted and stopped. What's wrong? The others were all stunned. Someone is following us. Who? Get the hell out here. The old man's eyes were cold as he looked in Lu Ming's direction. I've been discovered. What a sharp sense. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. If you don't come out, you're looking for death. The old man from the unique Devil Academy was extremely decisive. As soon as he saw that Lu Ming did not come out, he immediately made a move. His palm was like a blade as he slashed out. A pitch-black demonic blade slashed toward Lu Ming's position. Buzz. Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique and dodged the attack in a flash. Boom, boom, boom. The demonic blade struck the ground, creating a ravine that extended for hundreds of thousands of meters. 6th-level heavenly deity. Lu Ming's eyes turned solemn. That old man was shockingly a terrifying 6th-level celestial deity powerhouse. Lu Ming's figure moved and was naturally seen by the other party. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. It's this kid. There were a total of 5 people from the unique Devil Academy, and all of them revealed cold killing intent. Of course, there was a look of shock in their eyes. They did not expect to meet Lu Ming here. I've really worn out my iron shoes searching high and low, but I found it without any effort at all. So this brat is here. I'll just kill him and claim credit from the Divine King. No, let's not kill him first. Cripple him first. I'll do it. A burly man took a few steps forward and turned into a flash of saber light, charging toward Lu Ming. This person shockingly had a 5th-level celestial deity cultivation. If it was 50 years ago, Lu Ming could only turn around and run if he encountered a 5th-level celestial deity powerhouse. However, Lu Ming was no longer the same as before. Boom. Lu Ming kept triggering the battle formula. Now the battle formula had quadrupled combat power. Lu Ming had cultivated it to a 1/3 success rate. After a few moments, Lu Ming successfully triggered it. Moon slaying. Lu Ming waved his long spear and a crescent-shaped spear light swept out. Boom. The two sides collided. The crescent-shaped spear's radiance shook violently and shattered. Lu Ming's figure retreated rapidly. However, although Lu Ming retreated rapidly, he managed to block the other party's move. What? The people of the unique Devil Academy were all shocked. Lu Ming had actually blocked the attack of a 5th-level celestial deity. Lu Ming actually had such combat strength? This kid. Their eyes were filled with deep shock. Brat, die. When the burly man saw that Lu Ming had actually blocked his move, he was shocked. With a ferocious killing intent, he charged toward Lu Ming. The pitch-black demonic blade swept across tens of thousands of miles and slashed at Lu Ming. Buzz. Buzz. Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique and dodged his opponent's attack with a few dodges. Instead of advancing, he retreated and charged toward the middle-aged man. Ball. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Xiao and then threw a punch. Xiao had been transformed into a bangle on Lu Ming's hand. At this moment, it was filled with dazzling lightning. A bolt of lightning as thick as an arm burst out from Lu Ming's wrist and blasted toward the middle-aged man. Small tricks break. The middle-aged man didn't care. He slashed out with his saber trying to break the lightning. Not good, be careful. The old man's spiritual sense was sharp and he noticed that the lightning was unusual. He warned loudly, but it was already too late. Bang. The lightning directly destroyed the opponent's blade light and bombarded the opponent's body. The other party was directly sent flying. His entire body was charred black and he was already exhaling more than he was inhaling. With Xiao's current cultivation, it was not difficult to kill a 5th-level celestial deity existence when caught off guard. Damn it. Let's attack together and cripple this brat. When the remaining 4 people of the unique Devil Academy saw this scene, they all roared and burst out with cold killing intent. They did not make a move earlier because the middle-aged man alone was enough to kill Lu Ming. They did not need to do anything at all. They had never expected that Lu Ming's strength would be so terrifying. The remaining 4 of them charged toward Lu Ming, each of them exuding a powerful aura. 2 6th-level heavenly deities and 2 5th-level heavenly deities. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. The other party's strength had exceeded his imagination. Let's go. Lu Ming turned around and left. You want to run? No one can save you today. Kill. The 4 experts from the unique Demon Academy chased after Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. In particular, the 2 6th-tier celestial deity experts had cultivated speed-type divine skills. Moreover, their mastery was higher than Lu Ming's and their speed was faster than Lu Ming's. They rapidly closed the distance between them. Who said I'm running? Lu Ming muttered in his heart, his eyes glimmering with wisdom. He had never thought of escaping from the start. Instead, he had planned to wipe out all the enemies. With his current strength and Xiao's cooperation, it was not impossible. Xiao will leave that old man to you. Keep him busy. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Xiao. Don't worry, leave it to me. Xiao's voice was heard. Go. Lu Ming waved his hand and Xiao flew over to the old man at high speed. It then turned into a huge metal ball. 2 sabers extended from its body and slashed wildly at the old man. A metallic life form. Die. The old man shouted angrily and slashed out with his demonic blade, wanting to kill Xiao. However, the 2 of them collided continuously. His attack was blocked by Xiao. At the same time, in Xiuqiu's battle, lightning would be released from time to time, making it impossible for the other party to defend. With Xiuqiu's current strength, if it were to go all out, it was sufficient to contend against a 6th-level heavenly deity existence. "You guys go and kill that brat," the old man roared. Needless to say, the other 3 people also chased after Lu Ming. "Brat, you can't escape. Prepare to die." Emo Divine Palm. The other 6th-level celestial deity was a black-robed elder. He struck out with his palm and a pitch-black palm print blasted towards Lu Ming. The power was shocking. Divine Dragon Phenomenon Moon Cutting. Lu Ming growled and instantly used 2 of his ultimate moves, the Divine Dragon Materialization Technique and the 3 Apocalyptic Strikes. You're tuning in to the Zhou Xian's Legacy YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.